Hey everyone, I'm Steph,
And I'm Megan.
and welcome to another episode of Late Night Reads.
This week we are diving into the magical world of romantasy and covering We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark.
So let's start with why we selected We Who Will Die. Vampires, and they're
You need to
hot,
say more. Yes, hot, sexy vampires. Thank you.
right? Not like the Ascended and the Blood and Ash series, which was my first vampire romantasy series since I never got into Twilight like you did.
Love me good Twilight.
And then what do you mean Arvelle has to compete in a brutal competition to save the lives of her brothers in the same place where she has trauma from watching her best friend die in front of her eyes? Immediately hooked. Plus, we get a second chance of love because he had to give her up to save her life and then endured weeks of torture protecting her. Definitely interested. And then to top it off, his brother might have loved her first. What do you mean? Not just one, but two hot vampires lusting after her?
Let's give me Vampire Diaries vibes, and
Right.
I love that.
Plus, there are so many interesting things happening in this world that I feel like we barely scratched the surface of in this book, making us clamor for the next one.
Oh, yes, we need more. Absolutely, must download. But now, here are a few things that you need to know about our author, Stacia Stark. She is an Amazon #1 best-selling author of romantasy filled with found families, self-reliant heroines, and brooding grumpy heroes. Check, check, check. Her books have been translated into over 15 languages. Her Kingdom of Lies series was nominated twice for a Goodreads Choice Awards, and her traditionally published debut, We Who Will Die, released with Avon this year. So when she's not writing or exploring the world, Stacia can usually be found sprawled on her sofa, lost in the pages of a good book. Same girl.
Before we jump and discussing this book, a couple of key reminders. As always, this episode will contain spoilers. We assume if you're listening that you've read the book, you have been warned. Also, this book does contain a number of topics that may be sensitive for some readers. We're going to talk about all of them: animal abuse or death of centaurs and griffins, anxiety, blood, bullying, child death, regular death, depression, medical trauma, murder, PTSD, suicide, torture, and violence.
Not our longest list,
No,
but
not,
a good list.
but a lot.
Yeah. But now let's talk tropes. First up, we have forbidden love. Vampires and sigil marked are forbidden from having children. So any type of child making process or entanglement, if you will, is kind of a problem. Oopsies. Then we have friends to lovers. Tiernan happens to be the noble friend that Arvelle had when she was a little kid, and he kind of eventually turned into her lover before he disappeared from her life 6 years ago without a trace. So now we have a second chance. Arvelle and Tiernan are forced together again and appear to have an opportunity to reignite that old flame, although a lot of those previous issues still exist they need to work out. And then we have a love triangle, which did not see this one coming, but
Neither.
I'm here for it. So we know Tiernan cares for Arvelle and claims to love her, but Rorrick, his older brother, also seems to have some deep feelings for her too. And we're guessing we don't even know the half of it yet. Can't wait to find out. Like, he claims he saw her first. I'm like, what do you mean? Where is that data? I need to know. Then we have a slow burn. It does take a while to get to the spice, and I know we really only get 2 chapters of spicy scenes. It's a very super slow burn, but I think it's going to be worth it later. So, oof, can't wait. And then lastly, we have Touch Her and Die. Both Tiernan and Rorrick would likely kill anyone who hurts Arvelle. Although we think Rorrick would actually do it without asking any questions at all. He'd just be like, okay, you're dead. I'm pulling your heart out. Bye. Tiernan would do it, but only if he doesn't break any rules. Like, he's going to try to avoid, like, killing people, but he would do it if he had to.
Forced, I feel like, yeah.
If he was forced to, even, yeah.
Okay. In terms of every magical twist, there's a lot of things going on. So we first meet Arvelle when she's working a job guarding a pretty big asshole, Gaius.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people want to kill him, and her sole job is to ensure that doesn't happen. And I'm just like, if a lot of people want to kill you, there might be a reason. You might be the problem.
Yeah, it might be you.
It might be you. Apparently, this is what she's been doing for a while, is helping basically protect scumbags because she needs the money to pay for these tonics for her little brother's lung problems. However, someone in town has been purchasing all of them, which is very suspicious because Arvelle hasn't heard of Thorn having a sudden outbreak of lung disease. And that's because this vampire Bran, real asshole, has purchased all of them because he needs her services. He knows that she won the Sands competition 6 years ago, making her a trained killer. Everyone, I mean, who doesn't want that type of title wrapped around them, right?
Right? Yeah, it's like I won the Sands. I'm a trained killer.
And now I
Don't mess
protect
with me.
assholes.
Yeah, it's true.
And he wants her to compete in this like competition called the Sundering for him. Kill someone very important, like just the Emperor, no biggie. I love how he was just like, I mean, it's just the Emperor. It's like not a big deal. And I'm like,
just kill the Emperor. It's like that might be hard.
Excuse me, right?
That might be a bit complicated.
I might die.
Yeah.
But as a thank you, he'll save her brother's life. And Arvelle's like, yeah, no thank you, not interested. I'm pretty sure I'll die if I participate in the Sundering. Like, I am not qualified to go out there and do a gladiator-style battle right now. I feel like that's how I feel with my kids when they're like, do you want to play volleyball? And I'm like, sure. And then I end up tearing like all the tendons and ligaments in my thumb. So
a simple thing, and yet you pay for it later.
Correct. I'm not the same person I was 6 years ago. My body has aged.
No.
That's what I feel like Arvelle's saying is like, no, I'm not. But needless to say, Bran does not like being told no. And it's like, you have till midnight to change your mind. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are you going to do at midnight, Bran? Like, I knew like something was coming. And we learn a little bit more about her backstory at this point. So the Sands have become this required competition that she won. And then by winning, she got a significant amount of money. However, her mom thought it was important to share that information with her uncle, who then stole all of the money. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
I would have gone after him and killed him.
Right. Why didn't we do that?
Yeah, right? I'm like, go take it back. He should be scared of you. You just won the Sands.
And then her mom dies of suicide afterwards, requiring Arvelle to care for her two younger brothers, Everin and Gareth.
Look
at that, you guys.
Everin, Gareth, you did it.
Gareth, I'm
proud of you.
First try, never knew. And all three of them are signal marked, but for some reason her powers don't work like they should, which casts her in this negative light. And we'll talk more about this because I have some really unhinged theories about what's going on here. But her brother's powers have not come to light in the beginning of the book, and we start to see one of them evolve throughout this book.
Yes. But now next we meet Carrick, who is the first to mention how another body showed up randomly in the thorn, missing its heart. Ew.
Ew.
Ew. Someone, ew, no.
Ew.
So both sigil marked and mundanes are like just like normal people. You're mundane. How rude. Like, you're mundane. Like, ew. Either way, both sigil marked and mundanes are being killed, so no one is safe. But no one seems to care about this either. And Carrick also clearly, by the way, has a very much romantic interest in Arvelle. He's like, sup, girl? Like, let's go.
How you doing?
How you doing? And he's like, it's been a while since you've been with anyone, you know? Like, it's time for you to move on from that guy, that man, that T, whoever he was, who left her years ago, who she's still heartbroken over. And Carrick's like, marry me. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of your brothers. I'll give them someplace warm to be. And he like genuinely like wants to have like a life with her, a family. And he's like, but you know what? I won't wait forever. Take it or leave it. I'm like, that's very unrequited, isn't it?
I actually felt bad for him because I'm like, I feel like he's like a good friend who like would literally kill someone for her. Yeah. And she was just like, no, thank you.
You don't have a vampire dick. I don't want it.
I guess, right?
That must be it. Once you go vamp, you never go back?
Maybe.
Something like that? I don't know.
So, I mean, she does like their blood.
Yeah. So I do feel bad for Carrick because I'm just like, he's trying. And like, he seems like a genuinely good guy, but he's been friend zoned, you know? Like
permanently friend zoned.
Yeah. It's kind of like maybe by the time we're 40, we'll see.
If there's no one else left.
There's no one else. Yeah. But then the real drama gets started now when Gareth, her little brother, finds Carrick and Arvelle, and he's panicking about how his twin brother Everin is doing. Like, he's not doing well. You guys got to come see him. And they rush to his side. And guess who happens to be there? That shady motherfucker vampire, Bran. And you're like, what in the hell? And now Everin is like very close to death from his lung disease, like his issues and stuff. And Bran is just standing there and he's like, I could give you this tonic if you just do what I say. And he drops one on the ground, shattering it just to prove that he doesn't care. And he's like, I'll do whatever I have to. And it just basically forces Arvelle to do what he wants because there's no other way to save her brother's life. Like,
Yeah.
he needs these tonics. It's very clear this guy is like just going to push her over the edge. So now she has no choice but to take his terms. And this leads to Everin getting the tonic and then getting some of Bran's blood, he's a vampire, which helps him to temporarily heal. But he'll eventually need like a bigger healer to like fully recover from these injuries because they happened a long, long time ago. So it takes more than just like a little bit of vampire blood. But now that that's done, Bran's like, great, I've helped your brother. You signed up. You have 2 hours and we are leaving to go to the Sundering. She's like, what the fuck? 2 hours? Like,
That's like my
right
worst
now?
case scenario.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even have time to take a shower. Like, ugh, it's bad.
Right? It was not great. So she immediately goes to find Leon, who is the best friend of her dad, Cassia, who died competing in the sands with her. And he is still in like the deepest stages of grief and a shell of his former self. And he is pissed to learn that Arvelle is competing in this Underring because she has no business doing it. Leon, she also is very much aware of this.
She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want
to be there. She does not want to go there. And then he learns why. And she's kind of hoping he'll come with her to train since he helped train her and Cassia for the Sands competition 6 years ago. Now, the good news is he does come with her. He's a grumpy butt for a while. He's not pleased about it. And Bran is also there. But then we see another vampire, and her name's Elva, but I kept thinking Elvira every time I read it, just because it was so close. And she's going to take her brothers to the healers in the north and watch over them. And I'm like, when you say watch, you mean like hold them hostage, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Just want to like level set.
Mm-hmm.
So when Arvelle arrives, when to kind of the Sundering competition, one of the first people she meets is Mava?
Yeah.
She's overly friendly, and pretty much no other Gladian is happy Arvelle is there. In fact, one of them refers to her as a Voidborn because her signal never grew and knows that Arvelle killed his cousin 6 years ago. Let us introduce fucking Baldric.
Already don't like this guy.
Already do not like this guy. So I think this is an important piece of information. The reality is technically Cassia killed his cousin. Arvelle just took it a step further by removing her head. So
you're
just
dead.
You're dead.
Yeah.
So Baldric and his cronies make it clear that they're coming after Arvelle with plans to kill her. And I was like, talk about a welcoming first day. I don't want to be here. My guardian who's going to help me train doesn't want to be here. And now people who are here basically have told me I'm on their kill list. Great. What else could go wrong?
Awesome. Can't wait. Bring it on.
Can't wait. So excited.
So now Arvelle sees the Imperius for the first time. So the Imperius is like the group of guards that are going to like take care of the Emperor, you know, like his number one people. But of the number one people, there is a number one, which is the Primus, who takes orders directly from the Emperor. He's like the main guard, right-hand man. He also is the person that Bran specifically told Arvelle not to share her plans with about killing the Emperor. It's like, well, duh. First of all, I'm not going to tell the Emperor's like number one guard that I'm going to kill the Emperor. Like, yeah, sure. That makes sense. Not going to do that. That's like a death wish, right? But now it's kind of like, why are you bringing that up, Bran? Making us wonder, like, is there something we don't know? What's so special about this guy?
And why did you feel the need to call it out, Bran?
Yeah. But we already just like don't love Bran or trust him. So we're just like, okay, sure. I'll just mental note that. And then we get our first little flashback. This happens throughout the book. When Arvelle was younger and she meets this little boy, T, for the very first time. And it's clear from this interaction that T is a noble. He's dressed really nicely. But Arvelle doesn't really learn about his true identity until much later in the book. However, again, it's the first time that Arvelle gets something from him that helps her family financially when she steals his jacket. She's like, you're being a butthead. I'm going to take your nice clothes and run away. And she gets a lot of money for it, which is really nice. So her family gets fed, and he's like, oh, this girl is not like the other girls I know.
No.
So, yeah, it's like, so now we're flashing back forward. And the Gladians are all called together for the first time since Arvelle's arrival. And we get to meet Rorrick. Yay! Who Mava is like, oh my God, he's almost as cruel as he is beautiful. So now I'm like, uh-oh,
Hi.
we're about to fall for this bad boy. Like,
I literally,
hi.
on the page, I was like, hi.
Hello. Hello.
Nice to
You're a
meet
bad
you.
boy I'd love to be bad with. Thank you. So yeah, pretty much. And now apparently one of the other Gladians, Kerrigan, was sent there to spy. And Rorrick, being the bad boy he is, rips out the heart. Just like boom boom. Like, oh, you're a spy?
Did not
See ya.
love that
You're dead.
part.
Yeah, you're like, oh. And now he's murdered someone right in front of us. Okay, great. Love that.
Great.
And then we get our first little breadcrumb that Tiernan and Rorrick can mind path because Arvelle mentions how it looks like they're just having a wordless conversation. And I'm just like, or maybe they just understand each other. They're just like, but no, they're talking to each other. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is gonna be interesting later.
Well, that's what was fascinating. I was like, I didn't pick up on it a ton in the first read, but then I went through the second time. I was like, there were so many little like clues to when they're talking to each other or talking to other people through mind pathing.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on it at first until like, yeah, later. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
that makes
you've been doing
sense.
this for a while.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So we get another flashback, and T is back at Arvel's tree again, which I love how she refers to it as like her tree. And
Get out of my tree.
get my tree. He wants to know why she stole his jacket. And then he's shocked to hear that she worries about money. And I'm like, do you go here?
Yes, do you even look around? Do you get your head out of your own noble butt?
Yeah. And he offers to give her a button off his jacket if she stays there with him. And so, like, he pays her in buttons for a while, which is kind of funny. But back to the future, it's time for training. And Leon makes it clear that Arvelle shouldn't show up to breakfast and bother eating because she'll likely throw it up later. And I was like, great.
Training's gonna be
Great.
fun.
That's going to be so great. But he does give her a couple of helpful pieces of information in this conversation. So during training, we learn that Gladians will be watching her to find her weaknesses, and she should do the same. That makes sense. Everything she does there matters. A breadcrumb for how some Gladians intentionally mislead others about their strength and speed during training to get the upper hand. And then this becomes very important for later in the book. There are 3 rules during active fighting. 1, Gladians can't exit the arena until someone dies or throws down their weapons and begs the Emperor for mercy. And the Emperor does not give mercy very often. 2, Gladians cannot enter anyone's fighting without automatically joining them. She should have remembered that. And 3, even if you win, your survival depends on the Emperor's mood. And I was like, that is not great, what she does with his thumb.
Yeah, it's very like Caesar-esque, just like,
Thumbs up, thumbs down, right?
yeah, it's like, will you live? I don't know. Let's find out. Oof.
And then some Gladians will fight to first blood. So like the first one to draw blood, but the Emperor prefers those who give the crowd a good show. And I'm like, so he prefers that you kill each other. Great.
Yes.
We haven't even met the Emperor, and I was like, I already hate him.
So very much Gladiators series is what we're doing here. Now, we're in training, and Arvelle really struggles because it's been 6 years since she's done any of this. You know, like she's been like a bodyguard for like people cheating at poker. She hasn't had to pick up a sword and shield for a long ass time. And Leon, her trainer, is very frustrated of how poorly she's doing. And then the Primus is there and is watching her and making it clear that she needs to go home. So also, we don't know exactly who this guy is yet. He is wearing his full body armor. Makes me suspicious right away that he's T. I'm like,
Yeah.
And even other people are like, oh, he's keeping his helmet on, like he's keeping his identity secret, like what's going on? And she doesn't recognize him at first either because his voice has changed. It's like really, really like hoarse, like
Raspy.
raspy, yeah. And so now, thanks to her own poor performance and just not doing well, Arvelle is then forced to run laps by Leon, which is infuriating at first, but then Arvelle realizes it's a training exercise, but it's also an easy way for her to collect information about everybody else. So she gets like, make laps, and she's like, oh, okay, I noticed on this lap, like this person's like really weak on their left side, this person's a little slow, this person depends on this, blah, blah, blah. So It's nice. But she has to run laps with the shield, which she's not used to doing. So she's like, oh God, this thing's heavy. Oh shit. Like,
I'm not used
damn
to
it.
running laps, Megan.
No, yeah. I'm like, I can't run a lap. And if you tell me to carry a 10-pound, 15-pound, 20-pound shield, I'd be like,
I mean,
no.
if it's on a Peloton bike, I'm there. I got you. I can do it.
Sure.
But if
Yeah.
you need me to run,
No.
like maybe from a bear
Yeah. Or a zombie.
or a zombie,
I could do that.
but
But
that's,
no.
yeah,
Exercise? No thanks.
no.
So now Arvelle is leaving training and she's like, fuck this shit. She notices a tiny little mark carved into the chest of a statue of Enoxian that she's pretty sure wasn't there yesterday. She's like, that's new. That's weird. That didn't just appear. And it looks like a twisted spiral with like little spidery lines like radiating outward like cracks in glass or something. And there's like a ring and circulating like the spiral, punctuated by then 4 distinct symbols in each direction. Symbols that she's like, I've never seen them before. I have no idea what this means. And it's very unfamiliar to her, but all of a sudden her skin like breaks up in goosebumps. And there's like a sudden wave of nausea that hits her. So like even though she mentally doesn't know what it is, like her body is aware of that's presence. And you're like, oh,
That's not
What does
good.
this mean?
Yeah.
Is something awakening inside of you right now? Like, is this the first mark of something awakening in you?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was wondering.
We're going to talk more about that. If Arvelle's day can't get any worse, the Primus has insisted that she sit at his table with the Imperious for the rest of lunch, and he plans to make her life miserable until she leaves. I'm
This
like,
kind of reminded me of Mean
great.
Girls, where it's like,
That's what
sit,
I thought too.
sit with us. It's like, oh, okay, I'll sit at
Okay.
at the It Girls table. Okay.
I don't
Sure.
really want to be here.
No,
And then he also tells her that she should make an appeal to the Emperor to leave, but she refuses. And then other members of the Imperius also are like, you shouldn't be here based on like what they saw in training. Like, you
Yeah.
should not go here.
No,
And
honey, you're gonna die. Like, just don't.
you guys, she's well aware. She understands.
She's like, I know. I don't want to,
I don't want
but
to,
I have to.
but also I'm here. And then we get another flashback, which is our first breadcrumb about T being a vampire, because Arvelle mentions how he's obsessed with the sun. This is before it starts bothering him. He also doesn't want her to leave, ends up grabbing her wrist, causing her to punch him, and she makes it clear that he shouldn't touch people without permission. And I was like, that's a valuable rule everyone needs to learn and follow.
Yes, yes.
And then he throws another button at her, but she doesn't take it, and he doesn't show up at their tree for a few days. And then when she's training, she has to climb a rope, and rope climbing should be outlawed because there's zero reason anyone should climb a rope.
No.
And she is not doing great at it. And it also, and when you see this happen a lot when she's training or when she's fighting, it brings up all these memories of Cassia. And it's another example of like this PTSD that she has from watching her best friend die in front of her and the grief that she has refused to process as a result. But she finally like is struggling. She gets to the top of the rope and then it turns slick.
Oh.
And she's like sliding down, tearing up her hands. Thanks to one of their gladians, Hester, who also had promised to kill her. Great. Apparently, it is against the rules, though, to use your powers except during sparring. So, Hester did a bad thing. But Arvelle's like, no, guard, don't charge her. And I was like, girl, kill Hester. Yes.
Yes.
Hester should be punished.
Yes,
She wants
she's
to
bad.
kill you.
Yes. She's making it very clear that she's like fucking with you.
Right.
Like, no.
Arvelle
you
is
should
so
take care of this
nice.
now.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So now, while on the way to the healers, because her hands are fucked up, Arvelle runs to Jonah for the first time. And Arvelle convinces him to show her like how these mazes work, thinking like she might need this information to like try and escape after she kills the Emperor. I don't know. No big deal. But she doesn't tell him
No
that.
big deal.
And according to Jonah, the Ludus, which is where they're all at, was built due to a bet between Enoxian and Viderix, which are these like old gods. And Jonah shows her how to get to the healers without the other gladians seeing her. And he like has these like outside, like you push on this wall and you can go through this like hidden maze tunnel. And you're like, that's cool. Also,
I know, right?
who else knows about these? Like,
I have questions.
yeah. So he's like, don't worry, like you can go out here without anyone seeing you. And then he mentions how it will like take her outside, but that she shouldn't linger while she's out there. And of course, we know exactly what she's gonna do. She's gonna go out there. She's gonna linger.
We're gonna linger, right?
Linger, yeah. But did not see this. She sees a wyvern.
Ah,
And you're
wyvern.
like, oh my god. I mean, you're like, dragons? Are we gonna have dragons in here? Yeah? Yes? We all know how I feel about that. And did not see this. Rorrick is there, and he's petting it. And you're like, I'm very confused for many, many reasons. First off, wyverns are supposed to be dead, apparently, because they refused to bow to vampires. And second, Rorrick is a vampire. So you're like, okay, how are you with this animal? And you're supposed to be evil. So seeing you being nice to an animal and like being like, oh, my precious little draggy baby, I love you. Like, that doesn't seem right. This is weird. Have we misunderstood you? I don't understand. Like, you're hot. And now I'm more attracted to you because you're being cute to dragons and wyverns. I'm like, yes,
All
please.
I thought was it's like a puppy. I was like, the bad boy has a puppy.
I know. Oh, I want to pet it. It's so cute. Oh, I love it. And
Like
I'm
both
like,
of them.
damn it. Yes, yes. So Arvelle's just like, what the fuck have I just seen? And she's like, I need to get out of here. And she like leaves. But it's pretty obvious that the wyvern, I cannot say that. Wyvern?
Wyvern.
Wyvern, okay, yeah. It's pretty obvious that Wyvern and Rorrick knew she was there. So we're like, uh-oh, that conversation's gonna come back again. So next, it's time for the Gladians to meet some of the most powerful people in this world, which includes some vampires as well as some sigil-marked syndicates, also known as the Sigil Keepers. So these are apparently 12 of the strongest, gold-crowned, so you have like little like crowns in your sigils of how strong you are, in the entire empire, and they're all governors of the different territories. There's definitely some dick measuring going on in this room between the sigil keepers and the vampires. They're like, I can do this. Well, I can do this. Blah, 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 blah. And one of the sigil keepers intentionally has a sunburn to taunt the vampires with because they can't go out in the sun. Because in this version of these vampires, they go in the sun, they get burnt to a crisp. And he's just like, oh, I was out in the sun for too long and I got a little sunburn. And oh my god, that vampire is so pissed. And honestly, legit never thought having a sunburn would be like a power play. Like,
No, it's like the opposite to me. It's like the worst situation.
yes, it's like, I need some aloe vera. So funny. And Arvelle notices that Bran is there, and he's standing next to another vampire, and both of them legit just like look pissed. Like loathing expressions on their faces when they're looking at the Emperor. And I'm like, yeah, we know you want to kill him, and you're making it very obvious to everyone else in this room that you want to kill him.
Right.
But it's a surprise to Arvelle because she never thought, like, why would a vampire despise the Emperor? He's a vampire too. Like, don't you like him because he's the same as you?
Like, aren't you
Maybe
guys
not.
friends?
Yeah, it's like, aren't you?
No.
Yeah. No, they are not.
Then we have another potential breadcrumb that is forbidden for a vampire and a sigil mark to have children. If that happens, those people have to go in hiding for the rest of their lives to prevent their children from being murdered. Being born from vampires and sigil mark blood leads to unpredictable powers, and the Emperor does not like unpredictability. Yeah. Additionally, we learn that Maeva's father is a sigil keeper, which is shocking to Arvelle because it's almost like unheard of for those related to someone in like the sigil keeper syndicate to join the Sundering. Most of them can avoid even fighting in the sands, which is like compulsory, like they have no choice. But apparently, Maeva's father is disappointed in her because she has a brown sigil mark and both him and his wife are gold crowned. So like basically fighting for your life in the Sundering is the only way to not even get their praise. Like the only option she has, because even after she survives, like he doesn't care.
Yeah. It's so sad.
It's
Like,
so
oh,
sad.
you're not gold like us.
No.
Bye. We don't know you.
What's
Oh.
also interesting is she mentions that most of the other sigil keepers are unaware she's his daughter, which I think is kind of surprising. And she's hoping that Tiberius Coda will sponsor her, and he also happens to be from Thorn. But things get a little crazy at this lovely event because there's a body in the hall, and spoiler alert, it's missing its heart. And it's a gladiator that went missing on the first day, a definite way to embarrass the emperor in front of some of the most powerful people in the empire. So you know it was done very much intentionally.
Great, great. So then we get another little flashback here, and Arvelle plans to visit the tree for the very last time because it's actually been weeks since T came back there. And he happens to be there too. And they both apologize to each other, and he admits that he couldn't come visit her because his father suddenly took an interest in his training for a few weeks, and that his brother had warned him to be on his best behavior. So again, clearly this is back during the time when like Tiernan and Rorrick were friends and like liked each other as kids, and they're like kind of looking out for each other. So, but we know that's not now. They're not friends now.
No.
And then now we're back in current time, and there's a conversation that Arvelle is having with her brothers via these like secret little mirrors, or like walkie-talkie mirrors, like FaceTime, if you will, because they can see each other.
Face mirror.
Face mirror, yes. And Arvelle finds out that they have been learning about Mortis, who is the god of ruin. And now we get a little breadcrumb about how every 25 years, on the anniversary of this god's imprisonment, because he's a bad, bad guy, the bars of his cage grow weak enough for him to briefly escape and walk through the world as a human from dusk to dawn. So you're like, oh, ew, I don't like this. And supposedly Mortis is also why vampires cannot go in the sun. So we're kind of like, okay, people like him, don't like him. He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So then later we meet this guy named Albion for the very first time. And he is another Gardent who is very good friends with Leon. And he then mentions how he's been keeping his eye on Arvelle since she arrived. Turns out he is actually her new friend Maeva's guardian. And his son actually died last year in the arena. So he has apparently stayed to help train other Gladians who didn't come to Ludus with a Gardent. So it's like he's trying to be like a pseudo, like, you know, guardian figure for all these other people. But we're kind of like, at first we're like, do I trust this guy? I think I do. Like, he seems like a good guy. Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
And there became a point later where I was like, hold on a minute.
Yeah, like, wait a second.
Wait a second.
Suspicious.
Yes. So next, it's time for the Gladians to want to show for potential sponsors who can provide them with better weapons. Because what else do you need when you have to fight people to the death? Better swords.
Of course.
So Arvelle has to fight Lyra. She struggles with memories of watching Cassia die in the arena and does not do so well. And the Primus feels the need to tell her that if Lyra had a real sword, she would be dead. Yeah, I think she knows. I think she's aware. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you'll begin training with the Empress tomorrow. So you get to train twice.
Yay.
Great.
Fun
Yay.
times.
My body couldn't handle one, so now I get to go twice. So during training with the Empress, the Primus continues to wear his full body armor, including a helmet. He personally works with Arvelle, and she gets another flashback of Tiernan not being able to be in the sun and how much it frustrated him. And then that's when we learn that Tiernan was a born vampire, which means he can enjoy the sun until he starts to naturally transition, and then it weakens them, which I think is a very important thing to remember. And this leads to Arvelle demanding that the Primus show his face, and she comes face... Because, like, she knows who he is by this point. Because, like, she's having these flashbacks a lot when she's around the Primus. And then she sees Tiernan for the first time in 6 years. And that's also when Arvelle's like, oh, I get why Bran told me I can't tell you. He must know about our history. Which is, like, another breadcrumb about who Bran is and how long he's been watching Arvelle. And then she lashes out at him leaving, telling him how Cassia's dead, how she waited for months, let's be honest, years for him, still's waiting. And his only response is to insist that she continue to train with the Empress. Oh, and he'll get her out of here somehow, but just stay alive until then. And I'm like, that is your response? I have some strong feelings about Tiernan.
I would have kicked him in the balls so hard.
Same.
Like, fuck you. Like, you were my best friend, we were lovers, and then you disappear. Fuck you.
And I thought you might be dead.
Yeah.
And then I'm here and you don't even bother to say hello.
Yeah.
And maybe because his name is Tiernan, and I think of Kiernan from the Blood Nash series, and I'm like, and I still have, for those of you who've listened to those episodes, some lingering anger towards Kiernan and his poor choices and the primal blood and bone. But I'm like,
just a little bit.
And I was like, God damn it, Tiernan, what the hell?
What the hell, man? What's wrong with you? Ugh. So we already know there's baggage there that we're going to have to unload at some point. But now it's time for the first challenge. So let's see how this goes. Arvelle tells Leon about Tiernan being the Primus, and she's like, Leon, you cannot tell him about this bargain I have with Bran. He's going to flip his shit. Do not tell him. And Leon also was just like, yeah, we can't tell him this. This is that. Yeah, we can't.
That's bad.
It's bad, yeah. And Leon's also pissed that it's Tiernan. He's like, he abandoned us too. Like, what the fuck? He's pissed. And now we have our first battle between the Gladians, and it ends with one of them being killed, even after first blood was drawn and bowing to the Emperor. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, stop. But the other Gladian really just wanted to entertain the crowd. So he did it. And you're like, great. This is great. I can't wait.
Great.
Now Leon wants to get Arvelle out of there by just killing Bran. He's like, I could do that. He's like, but I gotta do a little bit of research first on, vampire bonds to make sure that killing Bran wouldn't accidentally kill you too, since you have a bond with him, with aka this like deal. And then we do learn that newly turned vampires do die when their sire is killed. So if Bran happens to have sired anybody recently, if he dies, they die. So we're like, okay. Interesting. So right before Arvelle walks out into like the gladiator ring, she has this like suppression cuff put on her, and she feels wrong when it's on, which is kind of interesting because she's not supposed to have like a whole lot of power to begin with. So she's like, man, this feels weird to me. Like, imagine what like the other people feel who have stronger powers than me.
Yeah.
But we're also kind of like, maybe you do have stronger powers than you know of. Interesting. But also like, that sucks. Now, Tiberius Coda is there, and he has decided to sponsor Arvelle and Maeva. So he decides to give her some better weapons, which we're like, thank you so much. Duly appreciate that. But Arvelle struggles during this fight, and she just keeps looking over in that same spot where Cassia died, like literally on that same floor. Like, it's fucked up. They're like, they just put new sand over her blood. Like, oh.
Every time. Like, think about that. Time. Like, just...
There's just layers of sand and blood. So she keeps getting distracted, and she ends up getting cut on the back and hurting her ankle. And her opponent tells her to throw down her weapons and bow to the Emperor. And he's like, I won't kill you. Do these things and I won't kill you. But Arvelle refuses. And she like fights back. She ends up winning. And she ends up holding a blade to her opponent's throat, telling the Emperor that she's leaving the decision of her opponent's life to him. And the Emperor's just like, okay, fine, he can live. You're like, oh, fuck.
I'm so surprised by that, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I thought he was going to call her bluff and be like, no,
you kill him.
Thumbs down. But
yeah,
no, let him live.
So the next day, Arvelle runs into Rorrick, and he refers to her as a tiny, frightened rabbit, which made me think of Blake and the Night Prince and the Wolf King. And also, like, the God of the Night made me think a lot of Mortis and stuff, too. And he says, I'm going to take everything you love, everything you remotely care about, and I'm going to ruin it simply because he can. And I'm like, will that include her?
Will you ruin me? Will you ruin me? Please.
He also wants to know if she's told anyone about seeing him with a wyvern. And then he like leaves. And then I'm like, wait, what?
Like what? So did you
just,
tell anybody
comes
about that?
and goes.
Did you tell anyone?
No.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. And then Tiernan shows up, and he wants to know, because we've not talked in 6 years, and therefore the most important question is, did you fuck Carrick after I left? And I'm like, excuse me? What the actual fuck? You leave without saying anything, and you would like to know if she's moved on 6 years later.
Fuck you.
Your goddamn business.
I'll fuck whoever I want after you leave.
And that's kind of what she says. She's like, I've fucked countless men since you. And he's like, well, you choose your lovers carefully. So each time you fuck someone who wasn't him, it meant something, which makes it 1,000 times worse. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? Hold, please. You left her. Now you're acting like her having any sort of like pleasure with another person is like somehow the world's worst way to inflict pain on you.
Yeah, like, oh, sorry, I betrayed you by sleeping with other people after you left.
And didn't talk to me. Sorry, my bad. My bad.
I'm sorry. So sorry about that.
At this point, I was like, I know we're supposed to like him, but I was
Yeah.
just like, I want to punch you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
he does when you learn like what happened, I do ease up on him, but I'm just like, are you like 18? Like what the
Right?
actual hell? Like what is wrong with you?
Yeah. It's like we went from like friends to lovers to enemies.
Correct.
It's like, hmm.
Who judge your sexual history based on my personal, I don't know. I was just like, why?
I
Like
know.
I get being jealous. I do get that.
Yeah.
If you were together or had broken up and had like just been afterwards, maybe, but
Mhm.
you left her for 6 years. What did you think was going to happen, Taryn?
Right. So,
I don't, clearly he did
unlike you,
not.
he did not think. Now, later, the Emperor has required all the Gladians to join him in the arena because he's arranged for them to watch other people kill now as a distraction. It's like, what? He's like, I got a show for you guys. Come on, let's go watch. And he's like, this is fucked up. So Maeva then explains to us a little bit the concept of sun madness to Arvelle. Supposedly, it's most common amongst the older vampires, but it can also strike randomly during times of stress. Okay. She specifically mentions how emotions like shock, rage, and grief weaken the vampires, making it more likely that they'll be struck with the madness. That feels like a breadcrumb. Like,
Yes, it
oh,
does. Who?
who's going to get madness? What's it going to happen? So the Emperor has a group of criminals come out, and they are forced then to fight each other to the death for the Emperor and the crowd's amusement. So they're fighting. And then a centaur comes out, and your heart breaks. Because this poor centaur has just been through some shit, clearly. And he is not armed. He has suppression cuffs on him that prevent him from using his powers. And the enforcers that are there have their full strength and all of their weapons, and they start attacking him until they just kill him. Kill an innocent person, which is so messed up. It is not okay. Like, that's just straight up like an execution. When you
Yes.
shoot or you hurt someone who is not fighting back, that's murder.
Yeah. Huh.
Don't care if it's a centaur or not. That's murder.
Correct.
So Maeva starts crying, and Arvelle is just like, stop crying. Which Maeva initially is just like, how could you be so heartless? When in reality, it's to protect Maeva, because an enforcer is watching her, and if they see her like getting upset about this, they could just kill her. Because they're just like, oh, you don't like what the Emperor has decided to happen? Well, then you're not true, so
Bye-bye.
you deserve to die too. Bye. Yeah, and you're like, oh fuck. So Maeva's just like, and just like brings herself together, which I could not even imagine. Like,
No.
oh, like suck it up or you're next. Like, oof, yikes.
So, the day before the second challenge, Bran seeks out Arvelle, wanting to ensure that she's prepared for the challenge, but he is unable to tell her anything about it. I was like, great, you're so helpful. Why are you here, Bran?
Yeah. Like, why did you pick me? Why did you make me do this if you're not going to help me?
Correct. He promises, though, he'll share information about the third challenge, assuming she makes it that far. And he's like,
Lovely.
are you getting closer to the Primus? Has he been meeting with anyone? Has he been talking to Rorrick? And what I loved about this, she's like, I don't know. I'm not with him all the time. How would I know that?
It's like, it's not my job. You told me to come here
Correct.
and do this shit. Yeah.
I got other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a breadcrumb, right, for that connection between Tiernan and Rorrick that we don't know about at this point, as well as like the setup that Bran has been doing to implicate both of them in the Emperor's murder once Arvelle does kill him. Next, another Gladian is found dead, and it's mentioned that Albin looks tired and drained. And I didn't notice this on the first read, but on the second read, I was like, yeah, because he was up all night killing someone.
Ah, yeah. At first,
So-
you're like, oh my God, he's just like emotionally distraught by this. And it's
Or
like,
just-
no, he's just
It's horrible. I thought he was just
psychotic
old.
murderer. Yeah, like he's just
I
a
was
man
like,
with bags
he's
under
just-
his eyes.
That's what I thought. I was like, he's just an old man. He's probably getting up at 4 a.m. because he can't sleep.
Yeah,
Like-
he just needs like his under eye little like patches, and he'll feel better in a few minutes. It's like, no, it turns out he's
No.
a serial killer. So
Correct.
Yeah. Oops.
And slightly
Yay.
insane.
Just a little bit. So now we have our second challenge. Yay! And Arvelle is reminded by Leon to remember what she's fighting for. AKA, like, remember your brothers. Remember why you're here. Just like, no shit. Duh. And he's also, like, identifying what she's about to experience in the arena. And he's like, you're going to be horrified. You're going to hate this. And he's not wrong. Because Arvelle and Baldric now have to work together to kill a griffin. Which you're like, no. I'm like, first the centaur, now the griffin. I mean, like, it's bad. Unsurprisingly, though, Baldric has no problem killing people. And he's just like, I'm going to attack it. And he starts, like, having fun. Just, like, hitting it, hurting it. And Arvelle can't do it. She just stands there. She's like, I can't do this. This is wrong. This is wrong. I shouldn't. No. And that's when the griffin starts to mind path with her, asking her to show him mercy. And please just kill me quickly. Because he's like, this guy is going to do this slowly for entertainment. And I ask you show me mercy. And at first, Arvelle kind of like fights him. And she's like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to kill you. Like, this is wrong. And he's like, I know. He's like, I'm going to die either way. Please just put me out of my misery. So Arvelle does what he asks. And his final words to her are, thank you and use it well. And you're like, what does that mean? What do you mean?
What do you
use
mean?
It well? And immediately I'm just thinking like, oh, he gave her something. I'm like, did he give her powers? What happened?
I thought maybe it was the mind pathing. Like that was the power that he gave her, right?
Same. I'm just like, oh, he gave her the power to mind path. Because at first she was like, where's that voice coming from? What?
Can you imagine if that happened to you? Like just all of a sudden someone's talking in your head. I'd be like, holy shit, am I going crazy?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. I've gone cray. But no, just a griffin mind pathing with you and perhaps giving you powers. And so she kills him, unfortunately. And Baldric is pissed because he's like, I wanted to do that. And so he slams his boot into her bad ankle, breaking it because he's a dick. That's what he does. And then an enforcer comes over and uses his ether whip to hold down Baldric because he's like, that was uncalled for. And I'm like, finally, you guys kind of
That's
help.
The line.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. Now you intervene? Great. Thanks so much. And that's when Arvelle realizes that the Emperor may make an example out of her because she didn't technically work with Baldric. So she's just like, oh shit, here it comes. He's going to give me the thumbs down. But then Rorrick comes up and starts talking into his father's ear. And she's allowed to live. And we're like, oh, Rorrick, what did you do? Why did you save me?
My first thought was he likes to play with his food. And my second thought was,
please play with his food.
Oh my God, is he Blake or Rysand?
Yeah.
I was just like, yes, please.
He was given major Rysand vibes, which I was like,
yes.
Melt.
Right?
Loved it.
Exactly. So next, Tiernan takes her to the healers and wants to know why Rorrick has taken an interest in her. I'm like, great question. Based on what we know at this point in the book, it seems like he's toying with his prey, wanting her to live in constant fear of him at this point. Like,
yes.
Tiernan,
it's like, you know your brother
I know
more than I do. Yeah, it's like, you know him. Ask him.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
And that's also when I started to wonder, like, okay, Rorrick is not who we think he is. There's some sort of connection between him and Arvelle. And then once we're at the healers, Arvelle learns her break is bad and her original bone that she didn't want fixed before needs to be rebroken and healed. But she refuses until Tiernan's like, you will do this and you will get some of my blood. Oh, and she can't be put to sleep for this, so she'll get to experience agonizing pain while Tiernan stands by her and talks her through it, I guess. And all I thought was like, that's what I want, is to have agonizing pain and have the man who broke my heart 6 years ago, whose first, comment back to me was, who did you fuck while I was gone? Talks to me. Great.
Yeah, talk to me and then give me his blood.
Now, once the healer is done, she does drink some of Tiernan's blood, and which we've learned that she's done before. We actually get to see a flashback of that kind of first time. And then Rorrick shows up, claiming he sensed pain, blood, and those are two of his favorite things. And then it seems that we get another like silent mind path conversation between Rorrick and Tiernan. And I'm like, why did he come check on her?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you like her.
It's interesting that he's like, I sensed blood and pain. I'm like,
I know.
Are you connected to her? Are you? Yeah. I'm like, do we have a fated mates situation here?
That's what I started thinking immediately. And I was like, oh, I'm here for it. Now, once she's healed, Tiernan tells Arvelle that he's proud of what she did today for her brothers. And then she shares how the griffin spoke to her. And he was like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
And then he kisses her. And I was like, oh, hold, what? But she goes to bed alone. And I'm also kind of like, why are we kissing him? I mean,
mad at him.
We're mad at him. We need to make him grovel longer.
Yes. He needs to beg.
Right? He needs to get on his knees. But we also noticed that her gold sigil has grown a little bit more. Not a lot, but a tiny bit.
Is it sigil or sigil?
I don't know. I love Megan, I love that you're like, which one is it? I don't know.
See, I'm saying sigil. Whatever.
Sigil marked?
Sigil. Magic mark.
Here, this is what I will tell you. It's reader's choice. It's always reader's choice. Even when there's an audiobook, it's still reader's choice. Whatever you love when you see the word is how you should pronounce it in your head. Like Elva is Elvira, because when I saw it, I was like, she's a vampire. It's like Elvira. She'll be Elvira to me. And then also gives me like a really cool like visualization of what I thought she looked like.
You know what? I like that.
See?
Dealer's choice, reader's choice.
Reader's choice.
But now, and the next morning, it was not somebody's choice to find this. Arvelle learns now a Gardent was found dead. And you're like, oh, guess we know what happened there. That's not great. And Tiernan has now gone to deal with some vampire rebels. And I'm like, wait, what? Because apparently some vampires believe the Emperor doesn't actually favor vampires enough. And they want someone else to sit on the throne. And they're like, okay, so you don't think your vampire king is doing enough for you? Okay.
Like, who does he favor more?
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean? And we're led to believe, like, okay, this must be like Rorrick, that like everybody else wants to be on the throne. Like, sure, people want Rorrick. Okay. And then there's another member of the Imperius, Orna, making a comment about how Arvelle can't be worth everything that Tiernan did. And you're like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? Secrets? What did he do? It's like, what did Lorcan do?
Right, yes. What did
I need to know.
Mm-hmm. But what did Tiernan do? Orna, explain more, please. But another Imperius stops her from saying anymore. And we're like, damn it.
It's like when someone has a surprise and they're like, I have a surprise for you, but I can't tell you for a while. And I'm like,
why did you?
Why did you tell me? Now I'm like, and I still don't feel like I feel like there's more to it than what we end up learning about him being tortured. But I'm like, Orna, girl, help a sister out.
Give me more. Yeah, tell me. Especially since like Orna's just like there like training with Arvelle now. And she's like,
yes,
but I want to teach you a lesson. And other Imperius then have to pull Orna off of Arvelle to stop her from killing her. And you're like, oh no, that's not good.
No.
Like, Orna, do you maybe have a crush on Tiernan? Are you jelly? Are you a little bit jelly? I don't know. Because it does turn out that Orna wants Arvelle dead. But no one will tell Arvelle exactly why. Only that, like, oh, it's between you, Orna, and Tiernan. Again, I'm like, she's jelly. She's gotta be jelly. And then Rorrick shows up, and we learn that Arvelle can mind path to him. And she's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, get out of my head. And he immediately notices now, like, her sigil has grown. But it's not like a sigil marked power that's grown. He's like, something's different about you. And she's also now been able to, like, break through his shields somehow, like, without even trying. And he's just like, there's only 2 other sigil marked who can do this. And they're both gold-crowned sigil marks. And he's like, it's more common for vampires in the Imaginari. So you're like,
what does that mean? What is she? What does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Tiernan and Arvelle alone in his room, and she tells him about mind pathing and how she did it with Rorrick. He did not love that.
He did not love it. He's like, impossible. How dare you? Why'd you do that?
How dare you?
She's like,
why is he so interested in you? I know. I'm just like, why are you jealous of this crazy evil person who is like basically stalking me?
Yeah, it's like, I didn't ask for this. Who does that remind us of?
The last person that she would ever want to mind path with at this point in the book is Rorrick.
Yeah, exactly.
So then Tiernan's like, what happened 6 years ago? well, what do you think happened? You broke my heart. And then she tells him about Cassia's death, the explosion at the mine, how everyone almost died, how her mom told her uncle about the money and then he stole it, and then her mom died by suicide. And he's like, why are you here? And she can't say anything because of the vampire bond,
Yeah.
but
Like
it
physically,
does,
she can't say anything.
correct, but it does flare up, right?
Hmm.
And so he sees it when it flares. And so she has to be really careful in what she says, but he's smart enough to kind of ask the right questions to figure out like her brothers are being held, kind of the general area where they're being held. And then he's determined to get her out of there tonight and comments on how dangerous Rourke is and her ability to mind path is basically a death sentence. And I'm like, but you can do it. Other vampires can do it.
Yeah, why is this a bad thing?
Correct. And then Tiernan does try and get her out of the city, but as soon as she steps outside the city walls, she's in an incredible pain. And then we get another flashback of how Tyrion shared his feelings with Arvelle for the first time and how he promised she'd never lose him. And I might have screamed at the book, liar!
It's like when Reese Witherspoon throws the box of chocolates in Legally Blonde. Liar!
Yes.
Liar! Yes.
That's, yes.
Mhm. Like, we don't believe you. We don't believe you, Tyrion.
I don't, no.
And now it is time for our third challenge. Yay! I'm like, oh, we've made it this far. We're alive. Huzzah.
At least for now.
For now, yeah. Ooh. Arvelle wakes to a note under her pillow from Bran. Great. About how he hopes she knows how to swim.
How did it get there?
Yeah, I'm like, he has to be allowed in her room.
But like she was sleeping.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Exactly. I'm like, did
It's so
you
creepy.
put that there? Or did someone else put that there?
Like someone else who's working with Bran? Mm-hmm.
Yes. Which
Good
now
point.
that we know that he has like made a bond with other people, we're like,
It could be.
who else are you working with?
Correct.
Yeah. So, no pun intended, now that we have to learn how to swim, let's dive in. So, for starters, of course, naturally we have to start every day with this. There's another Gladian missing, and their heart is gone. Like,
Oh.
we're like, oh, lovely. Great, great. So bodies just keep appearing with their chest cavities torn apart and their heart's gone. Cool, 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 cool. And it's great on. And Arvelle is the one who gets the lovely pleasure and opportunity to identify the body. And she's just like, fuck. Like, yeah, I know who that is. That's not good. And as she's looking at him a little bit closely, she notices there's a strange, like, sigil mark on his neck. And she remembers now, like, seeing it somewhere else, but she can't place it. And I immediately am like, oh, it's that same weird thing that was on that statue. The little, like, circle, swirly, spiral thingy with, like, lines coming out. You're like, ooh, this is not good.
No.
So that's weird. And she has to, like, try and put it out of her mind and get ready to fight. But the Gladians are separated into two groups and are all going out together. So they're immediately like, okay, we have to, like, fight with each other? Like, what?
This is weird, right?
It's weird. And they also have to leave their swords behind. So they're like, okay. They're like, and we know we have to swim, so what? It turns out they are recreating a battle from a naval thing that happened, and they are going to be working together. So everyone has to get into their, like, respective boats, and there's a platform in the center that has the shields, and they'll all have to get to it. And, like, water is, like, rising, and they're just like, what the fuck? Like, what is this magic? This is crazy. Like, suddenly, like, we're in a lake in the middle of, like, the arena. This is weird. And across from them, in another boat, there are criminals that represent their enemies. They're actually their enemies. And they have arrows. And they're being shot at. And you're like, oh no. We have no shields. We need to duck and hide because we're going to get shot. So Arvelle dives into the water, trying to get some shields for her team. She's like, I'll just swim over there. No worries. But no, the water is not safe. The water has a kelpie in it that will try to kill you. Because it does have like a silver halter on it. And it tries to hold her underwater and drown her. And you're like, I literally had to remind myself to keep breathing while I was reading this. I was like, oh my God. Because she's like talking about like trying not to take a breath. She's like, I try not to take a breath. I try not to take a breath because I know only water is going to come in. And I'm like, myself.
But I should take a breath.
Like, I should breathe. I should breathe. I'm not actually underwater. It's crazy. She survives, surprisingly, and is able to get up to the platform now where, like, Hester is already there and she's waiting to get the shields. And at first she's like, oh my God, Hester is going to kill me. This is the prime opportunity. And literally Hester's like, I'll kill you later. Like, I need you right now. We're like, okay, great,
Thanks.
thanks. So now lots of arrows are just like flying through the air, and Arvelle watches as one of the criminals, a woman, gets struck by an arrow and falls into the water. And Arvelle's like, that doesn't sit right with me. That seems unfair. And so she decides to dive in the water after her. And she ends up rescuing this woman. The rest of the Gladians are shocked by Arvelle's behavior because they're like, literally, we're here to be killing these criminals. But Arvelle will not let them touch her. She's just like, nope, do not kill this woman. She's innocent. Don't do this. She doesn't deserve to die like this. So thankfully now the competition is over. According to the Emperor, he's just like, fine, we're done, whatever. But because she survived this third battle, that means Bran has to fulfill his end of the bargain of healing Evren. So we're like, yay, you made it. Your brother's healed.
You just have to kill someone now? No biggie.
Now you just have to kill the Emperor.
But it's time for a ball, because what do you do after, playing some naval war games, watching people die? We get dressed up. And she runs into Bran, who reminds her once again that she needs to kill the Emperor, as if she could have forgotten.
Yes.
She also forces Bran to confirm her brother is being healed, which he's able to do with this truth stone, which is an incredibly rare device, but I feel like we're told about for some reason that will come out later in the book, and I think the series. She also learns from Maeva that while the Emperor might want Arvelle dead for what she did today, the people are calling her Calendra's daughter, the matron of unity and birth, the goddess of forgiveness, mercy, leniency, and redemption, which is the reason why she was saved. Arvelle also runs into the woman that she saved, Selena, and learns that she's now a novice, because if the criminals survive, they get to be novices too. Yay!
Yay.
Huh.
Great.
It's like, great, you didn't die. You can fight more and see if you die later.
Yes.
During the ball, Tiernan and Arvelle dance, and he mentions how he wants the old Arvelle back.
Well, then you shouldn't have left.
Correct. And then Rorrick asks Arvelle to dance, and he claims to know that she's there to kill his father, and he knows everything. But good news, his goals align with her goals, and he shares how the Emperor just changed the line of succession to deprive Rorrick of being like the birthright heir if the Emperor chooses. So Rorrick offers to work with her to take out his father, and he'll create a distraction to ensure that she can get out. This sounds like so easy.
I mean, it was like, this is a trap.
This is a trap.
It's a trap. This is a trap. I'm like, don't trust. Don't do that. This is a trap. But Arvelle goes with Rorrick. And there's definitely a point where Arvelle starts to have some surprising thoughts about this bad boy. And I'm like, oh, girl. Oh, you catching feelings? You liking it?
She's catching something.
She's catching something. She's like, he smells good. I like him. And he can tell that. He can tell that she is into it because he can smell her. I'm turned on by stuff.
Yep.
But we also don't trust him. So that's good. And because she doesn't trust him, she makes him do a vampire bond that she will not be punished by him or anyone else for killing his father. And he makes it like very clear, like, I can't be held responsible for this and this and this, but I'll agree to this. And I'm like, okay, we're working out a contract here. So now he supposedly takes her to the Emperor's quarters and has her wait in this hidden space, like in the bedroom, in the closet, until the Emperor is asleep. And then she can kill him. He's like, that's the perfect opportunity. Don't worry about it. And he also gives her like this magical pendant that will like cover the sound of her movements. So like she doesn't have to worry about it. So she's there. She's waiting for like hours on end until the Emperor is asleep. And then she busts out quietly and slits his throat and kills him. And now there's a little potential breadcrumb here that we can talk about more in the theories. But when Arvelle opens the curtains just the barest inch, the sun burns into her eyes. And she winces. And the world turns dim. Blood roars in her ears. We're like, are you part vampire?
Are you?
So now hours later, there's a distraction, finally. Because she's just sitting there, she's like, okay, I've killed the Emperor. Like, when's that distraction? When can I leave? I'm going to be found here sitting with him. That's a bad idea. The distraction does happen. Like, Rorrick does, like, make good on his deal. And Arvelle finds a very interesting chain with a symbol on it that's in the pocket of a cloak that she puts on. She's like, I need to, like, hide. She grabs this cloak, puts it on. It's that same symbol that she's like, I know I've seen this before, but I can't place it. And again, we're like, oh, dude, it's totally the same symbol that she found in the guy's neck, that she found in the statue. It's got to be. So upon leaving, so she makes it out of the room, she runs into Leon, who is on a horse, and takes her back to his room. We're like,
where did the horse come from?
I know. I'm like, why are you on a horse? This is weird. He's like, come with me. Arvelle tells Leon, like, I did it. I killed the Emperor. But he's like, no, you didn't. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean I didn't kill him? He's like, no, I just saw him. He's like, well, then who did I kill? Shit. And that's when she suddenly remembers that vampires have the ability to make people see things that aren't actually there. And so now she's like, fuck. And she finally does tell, Arvelle does finally tell Leon about how Bran is making her kill the Emperor. Because at first she doesn't want to tell him any of this stuff so he doesn't end up being complicit and everything. But she's just like, I could have sworn I just killed him because Bran made me do it. And then Leon shares that he told Tiernan at the ball that Bran is the one who manipulated Arvelle into competing in the Sundering in the first place. And so we're like, great, now Tiernan knows why I'm here, sort of. And then Leon's like, don't worry, I got a plan. We're going to be okay. He's like, we're going to get you picked to be in the Imperius so that you can get closer to the Emperor, so that you can kill him, or we're just going to kill Bran and hope you don't die. And I'm like,
It'll be fine.
Oh, great. Great. Ugh.
So when she leaves Leon's room, Tiernan finds her and immediately wants to know if she enjoyed dancing with Rorrick.
What are these questions? Did you fuck Carrick? Did you dance with Rorrick? I'm like,
you saw me dance with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's when she finally realizes that Tiernan is the Emperor's son and they're brothers, which was a big shock to me. I did not see that coming.
Oh,
and he claims to have kept it secret for protection, hers and his. She was his escape, which we referenced a couple times in the book. Then he drops the bomb that someone killed Tyrese Quota. Yep. She's like, oh shit, that was me.
Yeah, she's like, oops.
Daisy. So the next morning, everyone's called into the arena by the Emperor, who claims that the death of Tiberius is not only a loss for the Empire, but also the greatest failure of palace security in history. I'm like, dude, just wait. We all know where this is going. An Emperor orders one of the guards to have the punishment of turning, basically a death sentence, because Sigil Mark can't turn. So it will cause his body to rip itself apart. Arvelle is like, I can't watch this. She gets ready to leave. Rorrick follows her, claiming that he needed Tiberius dead and to be sitting by his father's side when it happened. He also berates...
I can't get blamed for this. I can't get blamed.
Correct.
I'm like,
it's all about you.
All about you.
He also berates Arvelle for how easy it was to convince her to trust him and questions about whether it hurts her knowing how many innocent people will die because of her actions. He's just like pouring salt in the wound and like rubbing it in. And then Arvelle assumes Rorrick is doing this to get back at his brother, and if Tiernan had stayed away from her, this never would have happened. And then after this exchange, Arvelle notices her sigil has grown once more, and to make matters worse, someone broke her whispering mirrors, or her face mirrors, making it impossible for her to talk to her brothers again.
So rude. And then next, it has apparently been 6 years since Cassia's death. So we know it's going to be a hard day for both Arvelle and Leon.
Yeah.
She ends up finding him in the Hall of the Gods, which is a place where like the Sigil Mark can just go and like worship their gods. Albion is also there with Leon. And now I'm just like, you're alone with him? What were you going to do?
I thought they might be lovers. That's what I thought at first. I was like, are they like secret lovers? Because they were having lots of like secret side conversations. And we know that Leon doesn't have a wife. We know Albin's wife has died. So I was like, oh, is there like something going on there? That was my initial thought. Because they were like suspicious and like I thought like yes, like a secret lovers. No,
I didn't pick up on that one. So Albion is, with Leon. Maybe lovers, maybe not. Who knows? And tells Arvelle about how he not only had lost his son, but also his wife, who apparently was so distressed over her son's tiny bronze sigil that she ended up with a vampire and had a blood addiction. We're like, oh, that's not good.
No.
So we get the feeling now, like, I don't think Albion likes vampires. I I
No.
don't think he likes him either. So now Arvelle finds Brand there. Great. And he's talking to Selena, the criminal that she had saved and now gets to be a novice. And Arvelle just warns her, like, stop. Like, do not talk to him, get away. But Selena does not take kindly to that warning. So we're like, oh, great. This is going to be bad later. It's going to come back to bite us in the ass. And then Arvelle goes to talk to Leon. He shares that the Imperius apparently has a weekly card game where they play for favors. And Arvelle's like, I'm really good at cards. I could do that.
Yeah, she is.
And that's how Arvelle learns. She's like, maybe I can try and win my way into the Imperius. I can win a spot that way. And the next card game, just happens to be tonight. And you're like, well, I happen to be free tonight. Let's go. And then Leon also shares that he is helping Arvelle because that's what Cassia would have wanted. We're like,
Oh.
Like, he's working through his grief.
Slowly.
Slowly. But he's getting there. I mean, first of all, he's left his house. He's no longer like...
He's showering, I assume.
Yeah. Showering, moving on, making new friends who end up not being the best kind of people. But, he's
trying.
out there. He's trying.
Yeah.
It's good. So now we're at the card game. Arvelle pretends she doesn't know how to play. She's like, oh my god, what are these cards? What? This is the king? Okay, teach me. Really, we know she's a badass. She's really good. And Tiernan is there, and he knows the truth, because he's the one who taught her how to play. He's just like, this will be fun. This will be really fun. But he actually taught her how to play, likely as a way for her to, like, earn money and, like, support her family, which is really nice. Instead of, like, giving her buttons, he's like, let me teach you how to play poker. And then Rorrick shows up, because of course he does. And he wants to join the game too. And then they switch to betting favors. And this is exactly what Arvelle wanted. She's like, I'm just going to, like, lose a couple of times until we start getting to the favors round. And then I'm going to start winning. And she does. She's, like, locking him up left and right. And then Rorrick starts mind-pathing to Arvelle. We're like, dude, get out of my head, literally. But he's just, like, claiming that, like, he knows that she wants to win a favor to get on the Imperius. And he's like, don't use a favor from Tiernan to do this, because it's going to go badly for him if he is seen skirting the rules for you. And so at this time, we're like, okay, didn't think too much of it. But it actually is one of the few times that we see Rorrick, like, actually looking out for his brother and, like, looking out for her too. He's like, let's work this together. So Rorrick then claims that he can get on the Imperius, that he can get her on the Imperius if she manages to beat him. So he's like, I'll put my note in there. I'll do it. See if you win. And then he tells Arvelle that she should ask him to teach her how to build her shields in her mind. But she refuses. He's like, are you sure? He's like, I could teach you. I could help you. And that's when Arvelle does end up beating Rorrick. And we're like, yes. And she immediately takes her favor and she goes, using it now. Give me a spot on the Imperius. And the rest of the Imperius are like, pissed and shocked. They're just like, what? How dare you use that right away? And how dare you use it to get on, like, our team? And Tiernan is really pissed too. He's like, what the fuck? Like, that's not cool, man.
When is Tiernan not pissed?
I know, honestly, he's just always pissed about something.
Grumpy.
But then Arvelle, like, does feel bad when she finds out that the spot that she won was supposed to go to her new bestie, Maeva, and that she took that from her. She's like, I know how bad Maeva wanted this, and I just took it. And you're like, ooh.
Uh-oh, yeah.
Not good.
But after the game, the Emperor wants everyone to go to the circus, where there are chariot races. And Maeva also questions...
Not the circus I thought it was going to be.
No, me either. I'm
like, there's elephants and clowns and...
No. But Maeva also questions Arvelle about her relationship with the Primus, sensing a connection there. But Arvelle's like, I mean, we just knew each other when we were kids. Our feelings are complicated.
I'm like, a Facebook status would be complicated.
Exactly what I thought, right? When the races begin, there is a wreck causing priceless jewels to fall on the track, and two spectators decide to jump on the track and try and get them, which I'm like, you're going to die, you're going to die. One gets hit by a chariot, the other is killed by the warden. This leads to spectators chanting no more taxes because the emperor has just raised them. And then the warden decides to take out an entire group of spectators with fire, and this is probably like one of the hardest scenes to read. Yeah. Because they continue to target like mundanes and Sigilmark. They're burning them to a crisp. There are children in there. Arvelle and some other novices help save a couple of children from dying. They end up giving them to Leon and Albin, so they're not seen as being the ones to help kids. But then I was also worried later, and I'm like, what the fuck did Albin do with them?
Never
Were they
thought of that.
sacrificed?
Oh God, I hope not.
But do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
and it's also
Ew.
pointed out that while the Emperor gave the order, he made the wardens carry it out so they would be blamed instead of him. And then the fucking races start back up as if none of it happened. And continue.
That's not a parallelism for something else.
Right? Oh.
But oh man, that scene when like the little girl like gets picked up
Yeah, it
and
was hard.
Arvelle's like trying to get her mom, and you're like, oh fuck, it's bad. So Tiernan is not pleased to learn that Arvelle was helping out people, but I'm like, okay, shut up. Like, let me do what I'm gonna do. But there's also a bigger problem because vampire rebels have now been sighted. They're at the circus, and so the Imperius needs to go and find them and take care of the situation quickly and quietly. Because it turns out the Emperor knows that he's about to be attacked and that the rebels will probably shoot ether grenades and stuff, which is going to lead to a significant loss of life, but he refuses to leave. He's like, no, I'm going to stay here and watch because I'm safe. Innocent people are going to die, but I'll be safe. I don't care. It's fine. Let the games continue. You're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And that's also where we learn that like the vampire rebels legitimately believe that the sigil marked people could actually give the vampires access back to the sun if they chose to. And they're just like deciding to keep it from them. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think that's right. I don't. So
That's not how it works.
It's not how it works. And so they spot a vampire rebel, and Arvelle realizes like he's gonna use an ether grenade like right now, and he's gonna like suicide bomb us. He's gonna kill us and himself and everyone else around. And suddenly she puts up, well, no, she doesn't put it up. Well, she does. She doesn't know it. A blue shield is put up around her, protecting her and Tiernan and two of the other Imperius guards. And she's just like, what the hell was that? And then she realizes that was from her. And that was a gift from the Griffin. And Tiernan's just like, make it go away, make it go away. He's like helping her like picture like calm waters, no ripples, and like it comes down. And Tiernan like looks at the other two guards and he's like, you saw nothing. Don't tell anybody what you saw. Nothing happened. And Nerys warns Arvelle that if anyone had seen her use that power, then she would die. And you're like, uh-oh. As if she doesn't have more reasons for people to try and kill her. Like, there's another one right there. And a big one.
Just adding to the list, right?
Great. And she's like, fuck my life. And if that's not bad enough now, the Emperor shows up and he is pissed that this rebel got away. So the one that was throwing the ether bomb got away somehow. And Lucius steps up to take the blame for it. Even though, like, it wasn't his fault, clearly, like, shit just went wrong. And Tiernan tries to stop him, and the Emperor then orders Tiernan to kill Lucius. And I'm just like, fuck. Like, this guy literally didn't do anything wrong. And he's just, like, stepping to be like, oh, yeah, sorry, it's my fault. Well, now you're gonna die. He's like, shit. Should not have volunteered to take the blame for this. That was a bad idea. And Tiernan can't do it. He's like, I can't do that. And Rorrick knows this. Rorrick knows his brother can't do it. And so he offers to do it instead. And Arvelle tries to speak out to be like, wait. But like Rorrick uses his powers to keep her mouth shut. Because if she talks at all, she's going to be next. Like, you talk back to the Emperor, like, you're dead. So he literally like shuts her up. And then she minds past to Rorrick, begging him not to do it. Like, please, please don't kill him. And he just says, look away. You need to look away. And then he literally rips out Lucius's heart. Which then kind of makes you think, we've seen him rip out a couple hearts now. Is he the one behind all these bodies with the hearts missing? I mean, I'm just saying. At this point, you're like, hearts missing? You're ripping out hearts.
But I feel like he likes to do it in front of people. Like, he wants the credit for it.
Yeah. He wouldn't hide it.
No.
But it's not a good look. It's not a good look.
No.
And poor Lucius is now dead. You're like,
it's dead.
Ugh.
I think he knew he was going to die. I think he knew someone had to take the fall, and I think he did it for the like sake of the group. But later, Arvelle learns from Nerys that the Emperor makes Rorrick and Tiernan turn on each other frequently. What a great dad. And Rorrick actually did Tiernan a favor by killing Lucius because Tiernan wouldn't be able to live with himself if he were forced to kill one of his Imperiums. But one day, Tiernan will make Rorrick pay for doing it by taking something important from him, and then Rorrick will retaliate, and so on, and so on, and so on. Great. According to Daenerys, Rorrick used to be overprotective of his brother when they were kids, but then the Emperor began using them against each other. When Tiernan returned from the front lines, it became worse. Tiernan doesn't want to be Primus. He takes all the Emperor's punishments for his fellow Imperius, even though they all hate seeing him suffer for it. She warns Arvelle never to let the Emperor know that Tiernan cares for her, or Arvelle will be punished the next time Tiernan infuriates his father.
Yeah.
So hard, right? Now, when Arvelle sees Tiernan, he wants to be left alone, but she doesn't listen. She confronts him about how he left, asking if it was because he was afraid his father would learn that she was a sickle mark and they were together. Tiernan finally admits it's true, how his father would have punished her by making him turn Arvelle, which we've already learned is like a death sentence. Instead, he decided to make Arvelle hate him by leaving without a word. And I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. You get a little bit of redemption. Then Tiernan tells how his father had him followed, learned he was with the sickle mark, and then held Tiernan in the dungeon for weeks, torturing him, and that's how he ruined his vocal cords, which you feel really bad. Then we finally get our first spicy scene of the book where Tiernan and Arvelle have sex. Afterwards, they talk about their lives. Arvelle learns that Rorrick was once the best person Tiernan knew, but Tiernan was the one who pushed him over the edge, and he won't say why, though. And I have some theories. And Tiernan gives Arvelle a new whispering mirror so she can talk to her brothers, which is like super sweet. And I'm like, okay, I like you again.
Some redemption. Still don't love what you did, but I understand.
Correct.
So next, Bran finds Arvelle. Ugh, Bran. Butthead Bran. And he's not pleased that she killed Tiberius Coda instead of the Emperor. And she's like, well, I didn't mean to. I thought I was killing him. Like, he's like, you need to finish.
I'm not pleased either.
I'm not pleased either. I didn't mean to kill this guy. I feel bad about it. And he's like warning her, like, you need to finish the mission. You need to do it now. I'm going to create an opportunity and you need to do it then. And like her like side, like where he like made the bond is like burning. And like she has to, like, it's like overpowering for her that she has to kill the Emperor. And he's like, okay, there's going to be a dinner with the Vampire Council and the Imperius will be there and you're going to kill him there. And you're like, fuck, that's not good. But she also notices now he has a little red book with gold embossed letters on it. And also she's like, he's kind of starting to act a little cray-cray. Like, more cray-cray than usual. And she's starting to assume, like, maybe he has some sun madness going on. Like, he's a little addicted to these tonics that can, like, help him walk in the sun for, like, a few minutes. Like, I think he's starting to go loco. Like, this is not good. And now she's walking down the hallway, and she hears a weird, like, help me, like, plea. Almost like somebody is, like, mind-pathing to her, but it feels a little bit different. And she's just like, what? And she starts to think, like, oh my God, am I going crazy? Am I going crazy? I'm hearing voices, and, like, there's no one here mind-pathing to me, so, like, that's weird. And then it disappears for now. And that leads her to ask Jorah for access to the library, the one that's forbidden for Gladians to enter. And she's like, only novices can technically go in there, but, like, under vampire supervision. So he's like, all right, I'll take you in there. I'll show you how to get in there.
I got you.
And I got you, girl. I'm your bestie. And she ends up finding a stack of books. And while she's reading one of them, her eye starts to sting. And she starts bleeding bloody tears. And we're just like, uh-oh, that can't be good. Mm-mm. And, like, one little, like, blood drop, like, goes on the page. And she now notices, like, how the words are starting to, like, rearrange themselves. And she can, like, suddenly read them. They, like, move all around and, like, become, like, her language. And she's like, oh, that's different. I don't think that's supposed to happen. And it becomes a breadcrumb for later in the book. And then there's another book that she's reading that mentions how wyverns value honor, loyalty, and courage, only bonding with those who display these traits. And she's like, well, that's weird because that doesn't describe Rorrick at all. And he has a wyvern. Like, what? But again, that's a little breadcrumb. Like, maybe Rorrick is not who she thinks he is. And he's not who we think he is. And he actually could be a good guy. So Arvelle then is, like, looking through some stuff, finds that same symbol again on a page in a book that she's seen before, now she recognizes, oh, that was on the statue of the Enoxian. And she's like, that was also on Graydon's neck. And it was also on that bracelet in Tiberius Coda's pocket. She's like,
Huh.
oh my God, it's a symbol of Mortis. And she's just like, oh, that's not good.
No.
And then things get very, very hectic because Rorrick shows up in the library and he is just pissed. He is like destroying tables and chairs and shit. And she's like, oh my God, I need to hide. I need to hide. She's like, he can't find me in here. This is bad. And then she like is creeping and like seeing him read the same book now that made her eyes bleed. And he's like copying something down from it. And then he stops because she's like, uh-oh, my blood went on that page. And he just like sniffs the book. And you're like, honestly, I kind of got a little turned on by that. I was like, wait. He's just sniffing her blood. He's
What
like,
do you smell?
what do you smell? What do you, he knows. He's just like, and he goes, I know you're here, little rabbit. And you're like, oh,
Catch me, please.
catch me, chase me, yay. And he's like, you should run and hope I don't catch you. And I'm like, yes, please, catch. But then Tiernan shows up. And I'm like, oh, the gang's all here. Hey, everybody's here. What's up? And now she's like, well, maybe I can come out of hiding now because Tiernan will protect me. And Rorrick suddenly like shoots fire out at Arvelle, which we're like, hold up, how did you do that? But not only that, she's able to have water power come out and like counter it. And you're like, what just happened here? Fire and water, magic? What? You're a vampire. How do you have magic? This is cray-cray. And then Rorrick shares that every time that she kills someone, she snatches their powers. And that's when Tiernan realizes, holy shit, you're the one who killed Tiberius. Because he had water power. And you just had it. You didn't have that before. Like, that's new. And then he realizes, like, oh my God, I know why you're here. You want to kill my father. You want to kill the emperor. And he's just like, oh, fuck. This is bad. And Rorrick's like, well, you know what, Tiernan? Either you train her or I will. So she needs help. Otherwise, she's dead. And the worst part about all of this is that poor little baby Jonah, sweetheart, overhears this entire conversation. And he's devastated now to learn that Arvelle is the one that killed Tiberius. Because Jorah, I called him Jonah, whatever. Jorah literally was like, looked at Tiberius as like a mentor. It was like a good friend. And he's just like heartbroken. He's like, how could you? How could you? And Arvelle's like, no, wait, no, let me explain.
Sorry.
But, like, she can't really explain. So it's like, oh,
I know.
sorry. There's a lot of confusing stuff that happened in that scene. You're like, damn.
Yeah. Afterwards, Leon gives Arvelle a letter that Cassia wrote to her in case she died during the sands. And Arvelle tells Leon about her plan to kill the Emperor at dinner. He is furious. He's like, you're going to do that in public. It's a death sentence. Let me do it for you. She's like, no. He storms off. Maeva comes to see her. Arvelle pushes her away, claiming to not want or need any friends, mainly because she's trying to protect her, right? She does try and apologize later, but Maeva won't take her apology and says they're no longer friends. And then we get another spicy scene between Tiernan and Arvelle when he goes down on her and then he fucks her. And I was like, thank you, please. I like that. So later, Arvelle calls in one of her favors from Dietra to prevent Leon from going anywhere near the palace. So she doesn't want him to try and kill the Emperor on her behalf. She also ends up hearing this creepy help me plea again and recognizes it to be, oh God, that's so creepy, Megan. Ugh.
Help me.
Ugh. To be Graydon's voice. And she also hears he wants us to return. Also creepy. No, thank you. She feels a pulling sensation, finds a hidden passage that takes her to this morgue that only has bodies of the ones who were killed in the ludus with their hearts taken out. And then they open their eyes, and their eyes are bright, poisonous green.
Whoa. Oh.
Not cool.
No.
Then
no.
Arvelle feels a malevolent presence filling the room that forces her to her knees, and she hears mine. And this is not a sexy mine, you guys. This is like a, huh. And then
like
Arvelle
demonic.
Yes, demonic mine. Then Arvelle slams her hand on Graydon's face, pushing her will for him to be free, which I think is really interesting. Why would just her hand do that?
Yeah.
And then the green light fades from Graydon's eyes, and she knows he's gone, and she does the same to the other bodies.
Which she's just like, I need a drink. She's like, oh, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
what just happened? Huh. Now, Arvelle is like, I've seen a lot of crazy shit. I'm skipping training. Like, I need to go
Yeah.
sort this out. She delivers a note to Jorah about how Micah will train him if Jorah is interested. Kind of her way of apologizing for killing his friend. Like, I'm sorry I killed your friend. Here's a training session for you. Which, at first he's like, really? Okay. I mean, I'm still mad at you, but thank you.
We're not forgiven.
Not forgiven. Then Arvelle gets into her Imperious armor, and they head to the dinner. And we're like, oh, fuck. Is she really going to do it? Is she really going to try and do this right now? So during the dinner, Arvelle is watching Rorrick drink blood from another vampire. And her mouth goes dry, and her body overheats. And you're like,
Oh.
why? What you doing? You likey. And then she also sees a freshly sired vampire who can only drink from their sire for months until they can tolerate human blood. And that sired vampire is like literally like on a leash and is just like, yes, yes, I want more, I want more. And like the vampire that sired him is just like, here's my wrist, here you go. You can have a little, almost like breastfeeding, but it's not. It's like,
Yeah.
So it's a little weird. And then Arvelle is able to finally mind path to Tiernan. And we're like, about damn time. Like, that could have been a lot more fun earlier. And she's just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And he realizes, like, oh, fuck, she's going to try and do this. She's going to try and kill my dad, like, right now. And then, like, she appears to then be able to, like, kind of block him out of her brain. And she pulls out a knife. But some kind of invisible force twists the knife in her hand and makes her stab herself in the thigh. And I just immediately am like, Rorrick, you motherfucker. Like, you did that.
God damn it, Rourke.
God damn it. And he just claims he was bored. And he, like, pretty much tries to, like, take the heat of it. Because the Emperor, like, turns around and is like, what the fuck was that? And Rorrick's like, sorry, I got bored. I wanted to make her hurt herself. And the Emperor's just like, Tiernan, take care of your guard. Like, get her out of here, clean her up.
Yeah.
And he takes her to a healer. And once she's healed, she finds Rorrick waiting for her. Because Tiernan was, of course, ordered to return to the dinner. And he had asked Rorrick to watch over her. We then learn that Rorrick has apparently never sired any other vampires. Because she's like, because he's telling her all this information. She's like, have you ever done that? Have you ever sired anyone? He's like, no. But he won't answer when she asks about Tiernan. He's like, you need to ask her. I mean, he's saying, you need to ask him if you want to know. And I'm like, is that a yes or is that a no? Because sketchy.
Are you just
Like,
fucking with my mind?
Yeah,
or...
exactly. Like, are you just trying to, like, make me pissed off at Tiernan for no reason when he really hasn't? Or has he? And you just won't answer that. Like, But, moving forward, Rorrick then mentions that Bran has now solidified his grip on Arvelle at the Sundering Ball. We're like, great.
Great.
And he's like, he has been squeezing that bond on you until it has literally forced you to act upon it. And that's basically what happened tonight. So once again, Arvelle is just being manipulated by vampires left and right. And you're like, fuck. And not in a good way. And then Rorrick offers to kill Bran for her. He's like, I can kill him. I can break the bond between you. And then he suddenly starts calling her darling. And we're like, what? Why are you calling me darling and why do I like it? And I'm like, oh, breadcrumb. But then something very interesting starts to happen because Arvelle sees a sigil on Rorrick's brow. And she's like, how do you have that? Because there was that law, like we heard of, that bans sigil-marked vampires from having babies. It's all because of him. So we're like, so you're the reason that this was forbidden. What have you done? Like, why would that have been forbidden? Like, how powerful are you? No. Oh, fuck. So Arvelle then is just like really pissed at Rorrick for a lot of things. And she calls him out mainly for being a monster and for killing Lucius and then making her kill Tiberius Cotta. And he's just like, yeah, you know, I knew Lucius before Tiernan ever did. So I'm actually more like torn up about this than you might think I am. And he's like, also, Tiberius Cotta wasn't the person you thought he was. He was actually a really bad guy. He was the one who was gathering a huge, like, sect of followers of Mortis to free the god. And she's like, no, he didn't. No, what? What? No, he's a good guy. He works with the sigil marked. He's like, no. He's trying to free the Mortis god. He's doing this shit. We're like, uh-oh.
Not great. But next, things get really crazy because Leon was attacked, and the only person to have ever survived this attack, he like almost had his heart cut out. He was poisoned, but oddly, it took longer to work on him, or it didn't work as well as it should have, which I think like is another breadcrumb. Tiernan gives some of his blood to help Leon, but it's very touch and go throughout the entire situation. Albin also shows up to visit while Arvelle is there and comments on how he believes the dead are closer than we imagine. Well, you would know.
You would know.
You would know. Thank God Arvelle was there, or Albin probably would have tried to kill Leon for good at that time. Brand also shows up, causing immense pain in her neck where the bond is, claiming the pain will turn her insane if she doesn't complete the end of her bargain. Another thing for her to look forward to.
But he's like literally a pain in the neck.
He literally
like not
is.
even just a frame. Like, you're a pain in the neck right now. Ow.
But it continues to get worse because the Emperor has novices fighting in the arena, and Maeva is fighting against Baldric, and she's been drugged as a little gift to Arvelle. So
Right?
Arvelle impulsively jumps into the arena to help her fight. That has ramifications according to those rules that we learned about earlier. Arvelle and Baldric fight. He's clearly winning. But finally, Maeve is able to help and pierces his heart. So she's technically the one that kills him. But the Emperor announces that Arvelle broke a rule and there must be consequences. Arvelle comments about how Maeva was drugged, and the Emperor claims if she's lying, she will die. Well, she might die anyways. Like, I mean...
Yeah. But you know what? We all know... But there's one other thing. Not only did Baldric get his heart pierced, then Arvelle cut his head off.
Well, he deserved it.
It's very... I know, but it was so similar to how Arvelle and Cassia killed the cousin.
Yep.
Their cousin, which is why this whole shit is happening. I'm like, well, it looks like you're going to die just the same way. But.
So, Rorrick shows up, whispers something into his father's ear that the Emperor likes. I'm like, well, that can't be good. That leads to Rorrick getting into the arena with Arvelle. He has a very strong reaction to seeing her neck, wanting to know who's been torturing her. They fight. Rorrick claims he has to teach her a lesson, and then he drinks from her. Tiernan does not like that. He throws a knife at Rorrick's shoulder. The Emperor is pleased to see the boys fighting against each other. Arvelle's wound will continue to bleed until a vampire heals it. And then my favorite part of this entire book, Rorrick claims he will make her pay if she lets Tiernan do it. And Arvelle makes him beg to allow him to heal it. And he gets on his knees and does. And let's just say Arvelle gets turned on when he does heal her wound. And I was just like, this is why when you came on the page, Rorrick, I know I shouldn't like you. And thank you.
That image of her
right?
with her wrist down and he's on his knees in front of her and like licking her wound. You're like,
yes. I know.
Chills. Because it's also like in front of everybody, in front of Tiernan, in front of the Emperor, in front of everyone. Everyone has seen him beg for her. She's got all the power. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. Then later, Rorrick stops by to see Arvelle while she's visiting Maeva, telling her that she was right to defend her friend. He also asks her are people entirely good or entirely evil? It's like, do they have to be one or the other, or can there just be a little bit of both? And then he tells her that he's leaving tonight to go take care of something, which we later learn is to save her brothers. And we're like, God damn it, I'm trying not to like you, but you're making it really hard. Like,
I was not trying. I was actively like, yes, please.
I mean, yes. But we're not supposed to like him. He's supposed to be the bad boy. But
potato.
Lucky. And then hours later, Tiernan takes Arvelle to his room, and her brothers are there, and they're waiting. Oh my God. But like the way he did it was so cute. He's like, I have a surprise for you. But I know how much you hate surprises. And she's like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And like opening the door, and like her brothers are there and they're crying. And just like, so sweet. However, Arvelle can't stay for very long with her brothers because she has to go to training now. And her training instructor, Nyrant, is like super, super pissed that she's been like skipping out on like all of her training sessions. So he's going to teach her a lesson. And he's also very pissed that Arvelle is now the reason why Baldric and Hester are dead. Because obviously they were like, yeah, Hester, you did break the rules, you poisoned, so you're dead. And she got like eaten by lions. And Arvelle had to watch. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was yucky. But Nyrant, again, is pissed. He's like, now I've lost like a bunch of good like fighters. You're going to have to pay for it. And the way he makes her pay for it is having all of those other new novices fight her. But her fellow novices are kind of glad that she did what she did. They're like, thank you for saving Maeva. Thank you for getting rid of Baldric and Hester. They sucked. And they're really proud of her because they don't really try very hard to fight. They're just like,
No.
make it look real. Wink, wink. Like, ow, I fell. Ooh, ah. And let's just say it pisses Nyrant off. He just like literally just goes storming off, just like huff puff. And you're like, heh. So then Maeva awakes, and Arvelle learns that Rorrick's mother was apparently drugged and kidnapped, which likely explains his very strong reaction to learning that Maeva was drugged. He's like, oh, I do not stand for that. That's not cool. And then Maeva, of course, is like very grateful for Arvelle for helping her. And then she shares some information that she's like, well, I've actually been dating somebody too. Like, I've been dating Nerys. And Arvelle's like, what? Nasty Nerys, who's like a big old bitch? I'm like, who knew she had a sweet side? And you're like, well, you know what, honey, I'm happy for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Which is why Nerys was very much like on Arvelle's side, because she's like, thank you for saving Maeva. And Arvelle eventually ends up telling Maeva about her bond with Bran and like what she has to do. Even though Arvelle's intuition is like, don't tell her, don't trust anyone, but she's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out on a limb here with my new friend, you know, another apology for like, I'm sorry I was a bitch to you. Let me tell you a secret.
So next, Arvelle goes into Leon's room to find clues about who attacked him. She quickly realizes that Leon only would have let someone in who he trusted, and it became to me, evident that it was Albin at this point. However, the only clue she found was that lavender feather.
Oh, yeah. Up until this point, I actually thought it could have been Jorah.
Oh, yeah.
Because like he could have gone in all the walls and like secretly done this, and he was a follower of Tiberius's. I was like, ooh, was he continuing this? So I wasn't fully convinced it was Albion at this point.
Oh, I was. I was like 1,000%.
I thought it still could have been. I still thought it could have been Jorah.
So that was the point I knew.
But yeah.
So Arvelle goes to see the Majorini. One of the centaurs refers to her as the broken sigil mark and doesn't want to help her. However, Griffin steps forward and knows exactly who she is because Antigrus, which is the Griffin that she killed, had told them about her and how she gave him mercy. And the Griffinists insist they will tell Arvelle what they know. And they mention Tiberius Cotta being involved and another man who harnesses their poison to use it against those who trusted him, which is, I think, a very important thing. Then the Gorgon shows her, by looking into her eyes, the memories of the face of this man. Arvelle realizes it's Albon, takes off running because since Albon has begun the sacrifice of Leon, he must finish it.
Like, great. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. No. Great. So Arvelle's like running to get to Leon's room, and she's just like, save Leon, save him. And Albion is already there, and he has a dagger in his hand. He's like about to try and kill Leon, but he gets away with Arvelle chasing him. She's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, motherfucker. And she just like is chasing him, and that leads to Albion getting trapped in the library with Arvelle. And then she's like, oh wait, I'm trapped. Like, we're both trapped in here. And like, uh-oh. But Albion starts trying to explain things. He's like, they're not really dead. They're going to come back. They're only mostly dead. Like, when Mortis breaks free from his cage, all the dead will return with him. And she's like, no, you stupid idiot. That's not how this is going to happen. But he claims, he's like, oh, there's so many people who believe the same as me. And we're like who? Can you give me a list? Give me a list of all these people that you say believe the same thing as you. And she even tries to explain to him, like, how the people you killed were actually trapped inside of their rotting corpses. But Albion's like, that's impossible. Like, that could never happen. Like, you're lying. She's like, no, I'm telling the truth. Like, their eyes glowed green and all this shit. But then Jorah shows up, and he's been listening to everything, and he attacks Albion. But it doesn't really do anything except cause Albion to think that he'll now have 2 people to sacrifice tonight. He's like, great, I'm going to hurt both of you. Because Jorah hasn't fulfilled all of his training. So I'm like, you tried, Jorah. And now I feel bad for blaming Jorah. Now I feel really bad. I'm like, oh, okay, it wasn't you. I'm sorry. I thought you were the bad guy. But Albion then attacks Arvelle, and she's able to block him with her Griffin shield. Yay! And then she tells Jorah to run and get help. And Albion, again, is trying to convince Arvelle that, like, this is going to be good for you. Like, just let me do it. You'll come back, I promise. And she plays along just for a second, just trying to buy some time. And she's also trying to, like, reach for her knife at the same time. But Albion is smart. He's paying attention. He slices her back with the blade dipped in poison. And you're like, oh no, that's bad. That's not good. To make it worse, he starts doing the ritual, starts chanting all this crazy shit. And Arvelle is like kind of going in and out of consciousness. She's like, oh no, this is bad. I can't move my arms. I can't move my legs. But then Jorah shows back up and he stabs Albion. But then Albion hits him. And you're like, oh, Jorah, are you okay, buddy? And Arvelle at this point is just like, I have the tiniest bit of strength left for one chance, and I'm going to just take it. And she is able to slash Albion's throat. And you're like, fuck yes, finally, he's dead. But then Arvelle hears a low, ancient sound. The same one that she heard when she had freed Graydon and all the others, like, let them pass. And immediately I'm just like, somebody still died. That Albion died. Like, you spilled his blood. The ritual was happening. I'm like, I think you just had a boo-boo. Oopsies. Maybe we shouldn't have killed him just then. But then Tiernan shows up, and Arvelle insists that Jorah was the hero. She's like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Like, he saved my life. Which is true. It's true.
So afterwards, Arvelle talks to Tiernan and her brothers about what happened, insisting that they know everything because she can't keep them safe by hiding things from them, which I think is true. They are a little young, though. Her brothers are shocked to learn she has a griffin shield and she has to kill the Emperor. Same.
Aren't they
boys.
like 10? 10 or 11?
I thought they were a little bit older, but yeah. But they're not adults.
They're not adults, yeah. Okay.
No.
Maybe the oldest, they're like 14, if that.
Yeah.
But you're like, ooh.
Yeah, so unsurprisingly, the Emperor has created another entertainment for us to watch duel fight to the death before the royal family chooses which novices will shadow them for the next year. And all hell breaks loose with some ether bombs. Arvelle and Maeva decide this would be a great time to get the Majorini out because if their arena collapses, they'll all die. Which I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. Arvelle goes to warn them while Maeva goes to get the key to unlock their cells. She promises them that they'll be free as long as the Majorini promise not to hurt anyone who doesn't harm them, which they agree to. I feel like that's a good deal.
Good deal.
We also learn from one of them that Maeva worships their same god, which is Tharwin, which I feel like is important probably for later in the series. One of the Majorini tell Arvelle that she kept her word to free them and he won't forget it, which feels like a breadcrumb for a later book. Then she goes back out and she's like, great time to kill the Emperor. She watches Selena use her silver sigil to prevent guards from using their shields. And Arvelle knows means that like Bran got to her and she's now part of this nonsense. And so she has this opportunity to take out the Emperor with a crossbow until Nera steps next to the Emperor and Arvelle's like, well, fuck, I can't take out someone that Maeva cares for. Then Bran shows up and he's pissed that Arvelle didn't kill the Emperor in that exact moment. And I'm like, does he have a fucking air tag on her? Like, how does he just keep showing up all the time?
Yeah.
But then he drops the major bomb that we did not see coming, that he's the Emperor's secret son and wants to take the throne. And I'm like, excuse me?
What?
What?
Also, I'm like, I need receipts. How can we believe you? Because, like, again, she's like, are you sure you're the secret son? Or are you just, like, that far gone and, like, cray-cray that you believe this? Yeah. I want some receipts. We'll see. But then Arvelle tries to mind path to Tiernan, or literally anyone, like, help me, please. Somebody help me. Like, sending out the bat signal to anyone that will come and help. And Bran mentions how the Emperor is now furious with his two sons. And he's just like, if they had only worked together, then the Empire would be theirs. And he's just, like, pissed at them. And Bran, his whole propaganda he's going to spew is that he can give the vampires the sun. And so he will easily gain an empire. He's like, that's why they're going to want me, because I'll give them the sun. And he apparently chose Arvelle to kill the Emperor because he knew that Tiernan wouldn't be able to stay away from her. And he knows all this because Bran has literally been stalking her for years. Like, he's seen them as children, like, playing together. And I'm like, that's creepy as fuck. Oh my God. How long? Like, you've been around for a long time. And apparently Bran planned to make it look like Selena and Arvelle had organized this entire attack. And that because Tiernan is her love, Rorrick then gave her the spot on the Imperius, making them both look complicit in, like, the whole thing. Like, he had this whole storyline, like, completed. But we did not expect this next part. Rorrick apparently saw Arvelle first in the thorn. And we're like, what? Because Bran is just like, yeah, Rorrick is just mad because he saw you first. I'm like, when? When did this happen? What? What are you talking about? I want to know. But we don't get time to find out because then a wyvern shows up with Rorrick on the back. And I'm getting like, Xaden? Is that you? Hello. I like you. And it comes out that apparently Rorrick, when he went to go help free Arvelle's brothers, he killed Elva. And he's like, oh, hey, Bran, your girl that you like, Elva? She's dead. I killed her. And then Rorrick demands that Bran give him this red book that he has. He's like, give me the red book. Give it to me. And then he just rips out his heart. And you're like, oh my God. I'm like, well, okay, well, Bran's dead. Yay. That's good. But the vampire rebel that they've seen before shows up with an ether bomb. And you're like, oh, fuck. And Arvelle now suddenly is like, shit, I can't let Rorrick die. And she jumps in front of him and she stabs that vampire rebel and kills him. But apparently, this vampire rebel was no ordinary rebel. He was blessed by Umbros, who is the god of the vampires, and he can speak and read the language of the gods. And Rorrick's like, what the fuck? I wanted to capture him. I needed him to read this little red book. But then Rorrick remembers that, hey, when you kill somebody, you can steal their powers. So you try and read this book. And realizes that she can. And he's just like, you're going to work for me now. You're going to do what I tell you to do. Which now I'm like, wait, Rorrick, I wanted to love you and have sexy time with you. And now you're making me work for you, which doesn't feel as sexy anymore, which is rude. But then finally Tiernan shows up and he learns all this shit that's been going on. And Rorrick then insists on both of them protecting her and training her. They're like, dude, look at what's happening. Like, Arvelle needs our help. We have to protect her. We have to train her. And Rorrick claims that reading the text in the book is the first step to preventing Mortis from breaking out of his cage. Whereas Tiernan's like, Rorrick, I think you're more interested in like other information that might be in that book that you're not really explaining. He's like, no. I just don't want Mortis to come out. And he's like, sure. But then Rorrick makes a little comment about how he doesn't feel sorry for Tiernan and that Tiernan should have run away all those years ago. And he's just like, Tiernan, with your resources, like, you could have left. You could have just left with Arvelle and her brothers and never been found. He's like, that's what I would have done. I would have taken Arvelle and kept her safe. And you're like, oh shit. Oh shit. So Arvelle is just like, Rorrick, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing all of this? And he just says, you don't see each other in the present. He's still trying to save you, and you are still trying to be his escape. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. And I'm like, well, Rorrick, what are you trying to be? Because I want to know. So Arvelle agrees then to help Rorrick with the book if he will help her with her powers. And then Tiernan, her, and her brothers will leave the Empire, and Rorrick will leave them alone. And Rorrick says, deal. That's
The end.
Ah!
Give it to me.
Like,
Okay,
no.
now.
I literally was like, where is it? I want more. I want more. God damn, it was so good.
It was really good. Theory time. We got a lot of unhinged ones. So who is Arvelle's father? We know that she has a different biological father than her brothers, but her mom never spoke of him. She only remembers how her mom's expression would turn tight with longing each time she asked about him. What if Arvelle's father happened to be a vampire? And the reason her mother never speaks about him is because they were forbidden to have children together. This would make sense given the timing of the laws, which were supposedly enacted after Rorrick's birth, and he's older. It also could explain why Arvelle's powers seem to be very different from those of a Sigilmark.
I totally agree. I think she's half vampire. Agreed. So what powers does Arvelle actually have? So we do know that her gold sigil is very small when the book first starts, but it grows at least 2 times. Like, think of like the Grinch's heart growing 3 sizes. Like, her sigil is growing. Rorrick believes that when Arvelle captures, or when Arvelle kills somebody, she's able to capture the powers from them every time she kills them. But maybe there's more to it. For instance, what if Arvelle's actual power is the ability to capture powers just from other people? Like, interesting. Like, her sigil looks low at first because she hasn't killed that many people that had power. And then, like, she basically can just, like, suck them from
Unlimited powers.
unlimited power. That could
So
be cool.
what other powers could she have? We don't think all of them have manifested yet because she's definitely killed more people than we've seen her have powers for. We know the blue shield came from the Griffin. The water power comes from Tiberius Coda. We know that she killed the vampire at the end of the book, so we assume she might get a power from him. She could already read before that, though,
Yeah,
the letters. So, like, what is that
exactly.
power? And I'm like, are those the only three people that she's killed? Because there are very specific mentions about how she didn't kill the person during the Sands competition. Cassia killed them, and Arvelle cut off their head. And we know Baldric died because of Maeva's sword, not Arvelle. So I'm like,
Yeah,
has she really only killed three people?
yeah. Is she like in there? Like, is she like a siphon at that way?
That's what I was thinking. Is she a siphon? That is
Yeah,
actually her power.
that's pretty cool. So why does Arvelle have a pull then to the mortis symbol? So she first notices this odd sensation. She breaks out into goosebumps. A wave of nausea hits her when she sees the mark on the statue. She can then also hear Graydon calling out for help from his rotted corpse. Ugh. And then hears another voice in her head in the morgue that we gotta assume is Mortis. Like, she can talk to a dead god? Like, ew.
No, thank
The
you.
god of death? No thanks. But she hears that same voice again in the library. So she might be connected to Mortis, especially since her brothers now have like an interest in this. And they're like, is their whole family tied to it? Could
Yep. Uh-huh.
Did I just get there?
Yeah.
Is Mortis her dad?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because he can
And
appear, he can escape his cage every 25
every
years
25
and
years.
walk as a
Yep.
vampire.
Uh-huh. That's a human, yeah. And her mom doesn't know, and that's why he disappeared and they never talk about him. Dun dun dun! I told you they were really unhinged.
Oh my god, I literally didn't come to that until just now. Holy shit. This is fun.
Okay. Can we trust Maeva? We are torn on this one. She seems to be a great friend throughout most of the book, but here's a few things that make me very suspicious. First, her guardian is Albin. While our understanding is that she came to Ludus without one and he chose to work with her, is there more to the story? Because does she have similar beliefs to him? Second, we know that Arvelle has a bad feeling when she contemplates telling Maeva about the bond with Bran, but she does it anyways. The other times we see Arvelle go against her intuition, she later realizes she shouldn't have done it. Third, her attitude changes throughout the book, becoming more sullen and frustrated with the realities of the world, because she was very kind and sweet in the beginning. It could just be watching so many people die in front of your faces that
That could
could
probably do
happen,
it.
but it also makes me wonder if she's been being manipulated by Albin.
Yes, very true. Is Arvelle part vampire? I mean, I think so. We have to. We have to. So we noticed that Arvelle was impacted by the sun after she killed Tiberius Coda. It specifically mentioned that the sun burns her eyes. Because remember, they can walk in it for a while until they suddenly can't. And the world turns dim, blood roars in her ears, blah, blah, blah. Basically with the curtains barely an inch. And she's like, and also remember, she's been hidden from the sun for a while now. Like all of their training and everything, like they've been underground. So we're like, okay, that could just be a normal reaction. It's been a while. Like, or are you in the process of transitioning to become a vampire? Similar to what Tiernan went through. So it's the same thing kind of for born vampires. The sun slowly begins to harm them and weaken them. So is she a vampire? Yes.
Is she a
I think
vampire?
so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Has Tiernan sired vampires? We're thinking this one's a yes. It's going to play a role in the next book. I'm very confident. Rorrick refuses to answer the questions, claiming Arvelle should ask Tiernan. And there's no reason to avoid answering the question if it's a no. We assume Rorrick wants to learn Arvelle to learn this information from Tiernan because he knows it will cause tension between them. It makes me wonder if Orna might be one of the vampires he sired. We know that she doesn't like Arvelle. And it's likely nothing that can be done to change that, according to Tiernan. We also, if we examine what Tiernan says about her, they were together one night. Both of us were grieving. Orna is deeply in love with her sire. At the time, she was rebelling against him, furious at something he had done. Now they are considering having a child together. On the surface, when you first read it, it sounds like Orna has another sire. But if you read it carefully, he never says that. What if she was sired by Tiernan and is in love with him? And we know that it was previously mentioned that Orna wants Arvelle dead, and another empress said that it's about the three of them would have to figure that out.
But the crazy thing when he said now they're considering having a child together, I'm like,
Yeah, that he would be
Tiernan,
having a child. Yes.
you
I think so.
what? Oh my God. So now I'm kind of like, can we trust Rorrick? He's got ulterior motives. He's focused on his own interests, but I really just don't think he would do anything to put Arvelle or her brothers in harm's way. Like, he's clearly shown the opposite of that he would protect her. Like, he went and saved her brothers. He's saved her multiple times. But can anyone else trust Rorrick? Probably not. He will, like, rip their hearts out. Like, Lucius was his friend first, and he ripped his heart out. And you're like, So, we're not going to say that he's always going to be honest to Arvelle. He just won't get her killed. So
I feel like at this point we'll take that.
I mean, yeah. But will he give us orgasms? That's what I want.
We'll find out.
I want to know that one.
So why did Tyrion not escape years ago with Arvelle and her brothers? My response, because he's a fucking coward. Because he doesn't really love Arvelle the way he claims. He wants a damsel in distress to rescue. That's my thought.
Tamlin.
Right?
What? Said that.
Or, I don't know, call him from the Wolf King and the Night Prince. Choosing to leave with Arvelle and his brothers would have made him leave everything he's known behind, and his feelings for her, I don't think, were strong enough to give it all up. Yes, he was tortured, didn't give up her name. He doesn't want bad things to happen to her, but he's not willing to give up everything else he has for her. Unlike Rorrick, who would have taken them and run.
Yeah. He's like, that's what I would have done. You're like, shit.
Damn it.
Damn it. Are Rorrick and Arvelle fated mates? I mean, now I kind of think he could be. We're hoping so now.
So.
I mean, we like bad boys. I mean, we like the good boys, but we like the bad boys. Let's look at some receipts here. We know that Rorrick saw Arvelle first. At least that's what Bran says. And Tiernan likely did something kind of related to that. And Arvelle also has a strong pull towards Rorrick that she doesn't seem to have towards Tiernan. Like, yes, she's attracted to Tiernan, but, like, this is different. Like, literally a pull. Like, very different. Maybe it's because they both are the same, like, half species, you know? I don't know. But also, Rorrick is, like, the first person that she can mind path with. And I'm like, that seems to be too easy for you to communicate with him, like, right off the bat. Like, what other information does Rorrick have in him? In that book, also, that, like, could be related to a potential mating bond with Arvelle? And, like, maybe Tiernan knew about it and he destroyed it, and, like, Rorrick wants to fix it. Like, who knows?
Yep.
But also, that theory, holy shit. Mortuus walked the earth and made a baby. And it was Arvelle.
What if he did? I know, right?
Oh, man. That's cray.
Okay, hot and steamy. Feels like a 3.
Yeah, it's a 3. Always more. We always want more.
Always.
So, chapter 25, where Tiernan and Arvelle finally have sex. Tiernan gives me a wicked grin filled with dark promise. You're good for my ego, Vel. And he doesn't make me wait, his mouth hungry on mine as he lifts me up, positioning himself at my entrance. He is large, but I arch my hips, opening for him as he thrusts inside me. With a roll of his hips, Tiernan picks up a steady rhythm, and I gasp against his mouth as he finds that spot inside of me. You feel so fucking good. You never should have come here, and I'm a selfish bastard because I'm so fucking glad you did. Yay. Yay. And it's like up against a wall, and you're like, fuck.
I know, right?
Damn. I mean, sex against a wall, you're like, huh. Notebook scenes, right?
Yes.
Then chapter 27, where Tiernan goes down on Arvelle, and then they have sex. I've missed your taste, he murmurs, lowering his head once more to pepper my inner thighs with kisses. I've missed those little sounds you make. My cheeks heat and he grins up at me, but his face is flushed with need. I reach for him and he shucks off his own pants, kneeling between my thighs. I let out one of those little sounds and his grin widens. I need you now.
Thank
Yes,
you.
please. Oh, loved it.
Okay, in terms of what's next, if you enjoyed this book, we think you'll also love the Blood and Ash, Flesh and Fire series. You get some non-sexy vampires, but some really sexy gods by Jennifer Armentrout. It also reminded me a lot of the Wren and the Holly Library and the Robin on the Oak Throne by K.A. Land, with kind of like these gods and a lot of hidden secrets, as well as we've mentioned it a couple of times, the Wolf King and the Night Prince by Lauren Paul Freeman.
Yes, so Super good stuff. But also join us next week when we dive into the world of contemporary romance and we discuss Worth the Try by Valerie Pepper. Happy reading, everybody.
Happy reading. Thanks for listening to Late Night Reads. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Late Night Reads Podcast, and check out latenightreads.com for even more information about all the books we're reading. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast, and share the show with your fellow book lovers.